together where the truth once stood. A kingdom of confusion carved out of falsehood. But he walks through the ruins like a prophet reborn. A voice watches fire, a mind on this door. The chaos watches with an all-seeing glare. Guardian of reason in a world unaware. When the overlord stalls at the edge of the frame, the faithful rise up, they already know his name. I'm here to resurrect the second coming of common sin. I come to wake the sleeping, the church will bring the fed. No hurdles, no illusions, no hollow angel prayer. He's here to resurrect the second coming of common sense. Thinking truth from the wreckage, raising thought from the dead. Every word is a weapon, shot men declare. Exposing every shadow we pretend not to fear. And the overlord rises with the suffering command. A beast of judgment, the Lord will give his dead. On his growl rings through the silence of the night. The loyal understand, Trigger keeps the battle is right. I'm here to resurrect the second coming of common sense. I'm making the chaos of found to pretend. Strong against the darkness, rising defend. He's here to resurrect the second coming of common sense. Bow your head to the beast that controls the doors. It's in yellow reason with the ball crushing block. If his ball runs empty, the shadows will consume. The world cracks open, ushering down. So with the command, come deploy a core. If you know what's good, feed mighty the overlord. I'm here to resurrect the second coming of common sense. I'm the chaos of power and pretend. Strong against the darkness, rising to defend. He's here to resurrect the second coming of common sense.
All right, welcome back to the party, everybody. This is Morty, and I am your host, Fletch, aka the Indian Jesus, here to resurrect the second coming of common sense. Everybody hit that like and subscribe. You know I would do it for you, and let's party. Welcome, welcome, welcome. How is everybody doing tonight? Happy Friday. Happy Friday. I never really know what to do with Friday streams because people are, doing other stuff. We got people with debate nights and all that stuff. So I figured we'll do something a little bit different. I'm sure, even if you don't recognize the name, I'm sure that you guys have heard of James Sexton, the guy on the thumbnail there, divorce lawyer. And, I think as, at least personally, as somebody who spent a decent amount of time in the red pill manosphere space, there is a lot of, there's just a lot about like female nature and stuff like that I learned, but then saw, it's just the opposite of feminism. And so this type of understanding, this type of perspective really does give you a more balanced perspective. So let's dive right in. Oh, we got HR Death Poet in the building. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the party. We got Megaberry over on Twitch. Welcome, welcome, welcome. As always, guys, if you cannot hear the video, please do let me know.
How does a couple really navigate those transition points effectively? How a couple think about those periods and prepare for them, perhaps.
Yes.
Yeah, I saw some of those clips, and I that was what really kind of put him on for me. Like I'd seen clips otherwise, but I was like, oh, okay, this guy. Shout out to Foghat. Said you got a liver disease? You got the wrong guy. All right.
So in my book, what I talk a lot about is
Tell everybody the title.
Well, if you buy it in the UK, it's called if you buy it in the USA, it's called How to Stay in Love. If you buy it in the UK, it's called How to Not Up Your Marriage, which tells you everything you need to know
exactly right.
about
That's
the US and
cultural
UK.
difference. Yeah.
I mean, they said it. Do I need to say it?
Yeah.
And it tells you why I've always enjoyed UK humor better than US humor, from Douglas Adams to the young ones.
Yeah.
I was bred on it. So, but yeah, there's a chapter in the book called Hit Send Now. And it's about this, I don't think, particularly radical concept, but it's about, whenever you send an email, if you're sending a heartfelt email, something that, you're going to quit a job or you're going to tell someone something you're afraid to tell them. I've always said there's something odd about when you hit send, but it's like, whoop, it's out there now. Like, take it back, And so that inspired the idea to me of, one of the things I like about email is I can be very thoughtful in how I compose what I'm saying. I can rewrite it. I can leave it in drafts until the next morning and decide, does it still say what I want it to say?
Do you guys do that? I definitely will. If it's something important, if it's something for work, I'll definitely sit on it and, just make sure it is the way that it is. Maybe sleep on it and wake up and, tweak little words here or there. I really do, as much as, ironically, I am a live streamer where I am speaking and I don't have like a Substack or something where, I'm typing and writing. But the whole reason I started this was because I had the idea that I wanted to write a book, but I didn't really know what exactly what to write about. And so I just started to talk to you guys. So that's coming in the future. Second's probably 46, but he looks 64. Does he? I mean, let's see. How old is he? He is 54. So right in the middle. Oh, sorry, you couldn't see that. Yeah, 54 years old. Not bad. I mean, I highly doubt being a divorce attorney is not stressful. So I'll give it to him. Could imagine being in the middle of a shitty marriage. Me neither.
And when I receive an email, I don't have to automatically acknowledge I received it. I don't have to immediately respond to it. I can digest what it's saying, and I can give my response the same thought maybe that this person ideally gave to the draft itself.
That's why it's insane to me that you iPhone people have made read receipts and the bubble thing a standard thing. Shout out to Dick Johnson. Welcome. I would never turn that shit on. The fact that you could see when I'm typing and whether or not I've read your tweet, text, whatever or not, that's insane to me. Because sometimes, like, what if I get a text right now and it's something semi-important that calls for a real response, but I can't stop the show to do it, so I can see it. And I mean, Android's awesome because it'll just show you on the screen without having to open it anyway. But that it's just insane. And then other people, well, why isn't he answering me? And then maybe I decide, I can't talk right now, but I'll get you back. And then I was like, you know what? That's not even coming out. And something else is going on. Then they see the bubble. It's insane. I don't get it. And that don't even get me started on location services. Dick said, I dodged the marriage bullet a couple times. So you're against getting married then? Because I definitely want to be married. I want to have a family and kids. I just, have a lot of issues, as I was bringing up before, with, the let's just say the current dating market, if you will. Shout out to Tag. Welcome to the party. Said liked and shared. Thank you so very, very much, guys. That stuff is free. It's easy. It just takes a second, and it doesn't even matter if you think anybody's going to click on the link that you shared. Just by you telling the platform you want more people to see it, they will show it to more people. Welcome. We got our first Russell Brand comparison. Welcome. Udi or Odie? Udi? I'm going to call you Odie. I like that better. And I got my hooded thingamajigger. Finally. I got held up in shipping, but it's fine. I finally got the box. I haven't opened it yet, but come to the after party to see my giant hooded robe. All right, welcome. Dixon, I'm not against it, but the right woman is key. Agreed. Agreed. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Let's dive right back in. We're just talking about it's basically just saying that I find it insane that people turn like red receipts and the bubbles while you're typing. That shit's insane to me.
Response, the same thought maybe that this person ideally gave to the draft itself. So I had this idea of why couldn't you in your relationship do something similar to that, work that into a sort of day-to-day or week.
There you go. So don't get divorced because I need that engagement. Shout out to Mrs. Guamtek.
To week practice of really, before the fire becomes fire while it's still smoke, just sort of putting things out there. And it's
why so down? Why so down? Why so blue? No faith, no hope?
Doesn't even have to be only sort of negative things, although the negative things are normally born, like no single raindrop's responsible for the flood, but the flood's made up of nothing but raindrops. So it's all these little things. And, you know, if you've been married for 20 years, then you know the feeling of sitting with your spouse and you're at the kitchen table and you're having a heated discussion about the best, traffic route to take to get to the place you're going that afternoon.
Take Route 1. You don't want to be on 18.
And, 20 minutes later, it's like, and I never liked your mother and she's never respected. You're like, wait, where did that come from? How did we get to that? How long have you been holding that in your back pocket? But that's what happens is there's these little things that build up over time. So I think the antidote is to those kinds of catastrophic failures, as silly as it sounds, is very basic communication. It's very basic and early communication. If something blips on your emotional radar, what is the harm in saying to your partner, look, I just want to say, when we were talking the other day and you made that little joke about my sister, maybe you were just joking, but for a second it sat kind of weird with me because I like the fact that you like my sister and it felt like what you said, maybe it means that you don't or something. So if I'm...
Yeah, so I mean, obviously I'm not married, never been married, so that's a huge caveat to all of this stuff. I don't know what it is like to be in a marriage, but I certainly understand the goal of marriage and all that kind of stuff. And yeah, the idea, and this really isn't just for marriage itself anyway. It has a lot to do with any kind of relationship that if something's going wrong, address it while it's not a big deal, because otherwise it's going to turn into a big deal. Pretty simple, right? Hey, shout out to Jason with the $2. No question, no comment, just pure love of the puppy. That's right. Every single donation comes with a treat for Morty. Thank you, sir, and welcome to the party. And look who we got here. Soil to Soul. Welcome. So just celebrated 19 years with my husband, so it definitely can be done. Well, dilly to that. Always a pleasure to see ya. Always a pleasure to get that positive news. So yeah, those of you that are married, I'm one of your goals tonight is to make sure that I have the right mindset going out into the world. And like I said, I'm not really on the dating market, but that's still a part of my life. So married folks, let me know what is good. In terms of not cut out for commitment. I don't know. I definitely was a long-term relationship guy for most of my life, but it's been a while, and I think I might just be a lone wolf. And speaking of lone wolf and cub, yeah, you like that, right? Welcome to the party. Very good to see you guys. We are hanging out with James Sexton and talking about love, marriage, and divorce. Jason says, "Don't ever do it." Oh man, Jason, do you have some horror stories, man? It's all right, brother. It's all right. Well, what are it wasn't the stat is that most people who get divorced will get married again or something like that. I don't know. They'll talk about it. Let's dive right back in.
Because I like the fact that you like my sister, and it felt like what you said, maybe it means that you don't or something. So if I misunderstood you, I'm sorry. And then it's an opportunity for this person to say, oh, no, I was just kidding. Or to say, but again, it's not in the context of the conversation because that can bring out something defensive in someone. And it also gives you a chance to think about how you parse it. Because if, for example, and I'm not using your relationship as an example, but if you were to say to a spouse, when you have a 3-year-old, if you were to say to your spouse, we don't have sex as often as we used to. We got a 3-year-old running around all the time. Like, it's understandable, but we don't have sex as often as we used to. that invites a defensive dialogue. Well, of course we don't. We've got a 3-year-old running around and I'm exhausted at the end of the day, and you've been traveling all the time interviewing James Sexton. So, I mean, what am I supposed to do? Whereas if
You've
you were
spoken to my wife, clearly.
I mean, I can neither confirm nor deny, attorney-client privilege. But if you said to her, gosh, I miss you so much. Like I miss feeling even just physically close to you. I love when we're so like connected to each other in that way. You think she's not going to like hearing that, And then that parlays into a conversation about like, oh, remember when we did it? Remember, God, I would love to get back to that where we could do that, And I know I'm not around as much, but man, when I'm around, I really want to make a point of making sure that we stay so connected because it means so much to me.
So I'm getting a lot already. Again, as you guys know, when I show you these videos, I try to skip through to make sure we got something good, but I try to have as fresh of a reaction as possible. And already what I'm seeing here is that maybe I do have a little bit of insight here, because specifically what he is talking about is very, very similar to the way I talk about how to approach conversations, more specifically with debate and stuff. But, it's not solely debate. This whole channel is about being better at conversing with the people that we disagree with. So I think we might be in the right place.
Who's going to argue with that? It's all really about the framing of the dialogue. And I think that is...
Oh, and you see him going after his last time we hit the goal. Morty got his peanut butter. And now he is going for the cap. So we got to get him a refill with that goal. Jason got us started. Oh, let me get you in the banner. Jason, my apologies.
Thank you with that. It's all really about the framing of the dialogue. And I think that is what the idea of Hit Send now is it's the idea of making a deliberate practice of that, of telling your partner, hey, I want to love you well. And I know you want to love me well, right? I want to be good at this. I want to be good at us. This is important to me. So I want you to feel free to tell me when I get it wrong. I'd even love it if you tell me when I get it right. Like you've been married 20 years. I bet if you said to your wife, or if I said to your wife, tell me 10 times that you felt loved by him. 10 things he's done that made you feel loved. 5 or 6 of them you could probably guess. I bet there'd be a few that you would go, really?
Time management, HR. Time management. Oh my goodness. And they have those little UV things. Guys, hold on. You guys all have a UV toothbrush protector, right? Please tell me you have a UV toothbrush protector. It's just a little it's a thing that opens up like a clam. And it just has 3 little UV lights. You just clip it over the head of your toothbrush so that, shit particles don't get stuck. You guys they're cheap as hell. Go on Amazon, get a UV toothbrush cleaner protector. You are welcome. Who we got? Shout out to Seth Thunder. Welcome to the party. We also got Sam on the landscape side. So again, I put it in the banner now, guys. If you are on vertical and you don't want to be on vertical, you can click the description, and the link will be right there to come on and join us. But if you're enjoying it, join it. Guantec said, marriage are the only chains that, if placed and managed correctly, can make you a better person. Freedom is great, but fulfillment and growth are great too. Sounds like it. I definitely, what was Dick just saying, right? I'm a fan of doing what I want when I want. But also, I would love to have a reason to clean rooms other than this. Like, my house isn't dirty. I mean, the kitchen needs a little bit of a cleaning right now. But in general, I'm not like a dirty guy. I'm just kind of messy and cluttered. And I would love to have a reason to just care enough to clean things up instead of just, I'll throw them one more shirt on the pile. Got that one. Soil said, gotta make time for romance. It won't make itself. Takes 2 to tango, and definitely can't come at it from a defensive or offensive angle. Must be open and neutral with a loving angle. Sounds like it's easy to say and very hard to do. And exactly, Gonzaga say not easy at all. But the payoff can be more than you even imagine. I hope so. Fingers crossed. If you know single girls who like short dudes, give them my number or Discord or whatever you guys want. You know what Soil said praise for good things is so important. It's easy to nitpick the small negative stuff, and we should be proactive about noticing the small positive stuff. Yeah, absolutely. This is, for those of you know, I'm a professional dog trainer, and this is something that, I preach again, just because it is not just a romantic relationship thing, but a relationship thing. And so, especially in the beginning, or in the beginning when you first have a dog, right? There's a lot of focus on what is this dog doing, talking to the dog, reinforcing what the dog does. But a couple of years down the line, your dog you guys kind of just live together and whatever, and you stop telling your dog, "Oh, good boy," for just not chewing on stuff. And I would imagine that you want to treat your wife exactly the same as your dog. That's not the lesson, but exactly. Oh, brother. Guys, PSA. When you flush the toilet, particles of what's in the toilet go in the air, and then they settle all around the bathroom. So especially if your sink is right next to the toilet, then every time you shit, unless you're not flushing the toilet, in which case the particles are still there because you just got a mound of shit in your toilet, then you are getting shit particles on your toothbrush. Get again, they're like $10. So that you're not cleaning your teeth with shit. I'm the Indian here. And you guys are putting shit all over your faces? Come on. I don't shit anywhere near my toothbrush. Okay, but do you piss in the toilet that's in that bathroom? I mean, we are talking about shit particles. If you do not cover your toothbrush and have a UV light kill the germs, then every time you flush your toilet, everything goes out. No bueno. You do not want that. Yep. Take a guess. Take a guess how short I am. If you know, don't tell him. Dixon, I love being in a relationship. Well, it's good and easy, but at some point the woman always switches. It may be my fault. Well, that right there is it may be my fault. You're noticing a pattern, but you're not just saying, well, she always does that. And it is not easy out there. It is not easy out there. You curiosity flush? Assume. I mean, all right. It was just a PSA. In the medical cabinet. I mean, yeah, that's not as bad as just leaving it out. But oh yeah, brother, I am shorter than you. I would wish, upon a star would I wish to be 5'8". All right, diving back in here.
5 or 6 of them you could probably guess. I bet there'd be a few that you would go, really? I didn't even know you noticed I did that, or I didn't even notice that I did that. Like, and I bet the same is true if I said to you, when do you feel loved by your wife? But
yeah, and so just to tie about on what I was saying before, that you're in the beginning when you're training your dog, then it's very common that you're saying, "Oh, good boy, here's a treat, but it's too easy to just kind of fall back into life, especially when you don't have a professional coming into your home every week and being like, okay, we got to do this. You see how you did that? If you put your hand this way, then it's gonna be better. You fall back into a regular routine, and the dog just realizes like, all right, well, if you're not gonna say nice things, just like your wife or your husband say, all right, if you're not gonna say nice things, then I'm just gonna do the bare minimum. We can go to, you can bring it to the professional environment too. Remember quiet quitting, aka how I've always worked? Yeah, that's because you go to a job, you get the money, but the other perks, whether it be just the positive environment or whatever else, it's like, all right, if I'm not getting that, then I'm not going above and beyond. Talk about the shit particles on my toothbrush, but I don't have any better answer. I mean, all right. Like I said, it's just a PSA. You don't have to follow it, but don't fucking tell me that I didn't warn you. Don't fucking tell me that I didn't warn you. Been called short by chicks before. Yeah, well, I mean, anything under 6 feet is short to them. Yeah, they're barely 4. My college girlfriend was 4'11". 4'11". And there was a girl I dated in high school that was 4'9". And I'm pretty sure it's 4'9" is the legal midget, but yeah. Roman, welcome, said having a cat indoors is more dangerous than a tooth. than a tooth. I mean, I'm assuming that this is in the poop context, that having a cat indoors is more dangerous for a toothbrush. Meaning you're gonna get a lot of I mean, one of the clients that I have right now, it's two chicks who live together. I don't know if they're roommates or if they're together or whatever. But the cat smell. It's just adorable little 40-pound golden retriever, beautiful dog, and the whole place. Toxoplasmosis. Yep, cats can carry the parasite Toxoplasma gondii, which is shed in their feces. This can cause severe health complications for pregnant women. Well, don't let Trump say it, otherwise all these cat ladies are going to start eating their shit. Shout out to Equality and Deference, because vagina. Over on Rumble, welcome to the party. Again, said, liked, and shared. Thank you so very, very much. Again, guys, it does not even matter if you think anybody's going to click on the link that you shared. Just by you telling the platform you want more people to see it, they will show it to more people. Welcome. Let's dive right back in.
That I did that. And I bet the same is true if I said to you, when do you feel loved by your wife? But don't you want to know? Is there anything you'd want to know more? What a wonderful thing to know because don't you want the people who you love to feel your love? Well, when do you feel it? And when do you not feel it? What are some things
Tell me about it.
I do that make you not feel my love? Because I know I'm not doing them intentionally, So what can I do? How can I get better at this? We're constantly refining. It astounds me that, my book.
I mean, I might have people beat there. I don't know. I'm just saying. All I'm saying is height and width like that are not directly correlated.
Is a relationship book at its core. And if you walked into, someone's home who's married and they had the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People or the power.
Hey, thank you, sir. Glad to have you. The 7. Oh, my dad gave me this book once. I don't think no, I did read it. It's a shorter book, right? Hold on. It was 7 Habits. Yeah. How many pages? I think it's a shorter book, right? Yeah, so 400 pages. I read this. All right, I know what we're talking about. We're all short. On stolen land. There we go. Fucking Dilly. Hey, we also got Jeff Pearson in the building. Welcome. Can you feel the love tonight? Is that the right melody? I think I had the wrong note there. Welcome. Polly said, I've never been called short. Yeah, I'm not surprised. Best way to not fail at marriage is to not get married. Oh, I didn't know we were doing trick questions. What's the best way to not die skiing? Don't go skiing. What is that from? Call the reference.
Someone's home who's married and they had the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People or the Power of Habit by Charles Duhigg, or they had, any of those, Tony Robbins, any of those books. You go, look at this. Jim's so successful that he still wants to keep the point on the sword sharp. I love it. He's always self-help.
Not in Britain, mate.
You see a relationship book and you go, what's going on at home with Jim?
Yeah.
Instead of saying, oh, look at this. His relationship means so much that he wants to stay good at it. He wants to continue to. There's just something about acknowledging that we
good point.
Might not be great at this as a species. That feels like you're acknowledging you're doing something wrong, or your partner's doing something wrong, or you've chosen incorrectly.
That's a good point. I can't think of any other. What other context would we see a book in someone's home and be like, hey, yikes? I mean, unless it's some the book itself is weird, but a normal topic that you'd see and oh, you must be having trouble. You're not going to go in and see a songbook and be like, oh, this person must be having trouble singing. But you see a romance book. And I mean, when I say romance, I don't mean the Minotaur fuck the girl kind of book. I mean, this type of shit. Actual shit.
It feels like you're acknowledging you're doing something wrong, or your partner's doing something wrong, or you've chosen incorrectly. I don't understand why that is.
It's so many interesting points that you've raised. And one of the myths that I want to explore, and maybe it's not myth, maybe it's truth, but it's misrepresented on the internet, is the classic one that all angry men use online, and there's lots of angry men, who say the line, 80% of women initiate divorce.
78%.
There you go.
78%.
It's true.
People love weaponizing.
But I mean, yeah, the reason that is not a good stat when it comes to divorce is because initiating the divorce does not necessarily mean that you were the problem in the relationship.
That statistic. Yeah. I think that I understand why people try to weaponize that statistic. They're trying to present the suggestion that marriage is like a casino, that women get entry to being very good looking and young and youthful. And then they get in there, they watch the man accumulate a big bank of chips. And then when the guy's high up enough, they go, all right, I'm cashing out. And then they go. Okay? If that was the case, I would be the first to say it. Believe me. I say lots of things that I get accused of misogyny because I talk about a lot of gendered things. And again, these aren't my opinions. This is what I'm observing. I represent men. I represent women. I've been representing men and women for 25 years of practicing matrimonial law. So I'm just reporting who's sitting on the other end of the...
I don't believe you, but just in case, this is a show for 18 and up. I have no way of saying that you should or shouldn't watch it. If you have parents' permission, go for it. I am not taking any fucking weird shit. But, oh, you're cultivating 9-year-olds. No, you should not be here unless your parents say, also, I don't believe you.
Chair and what I see in the books. People lie to their therapist all the time. They lie to their friends all the time. They don't lie to their divorce lawyer. There's no reason to lie to your divorce lawyer. I'm going to find out. I have subpoena power. I can look at all your records.
Same with your doctor. Don't lie to your doctor. Not going to help. Also, don't lie to your dog trainer. We can tell, and we want to help.
There's no reason to lie to me. My only job's to protect my client. So you can tell me the truth. I'm here to protect your secrets and advocate on your behalf. So I get a very, very unfiltered view of things.
I mean, I don't suppose you can't. I mean, maybe not married under the law, but you want to live together. All these polyamorous, polycule, whatever they call them,
So if women were just saying, oh yeah, I've cashed out, I'm doing great. I got into this thing and now he's not doing well and I'm out, or he's doing so well that I can now afford to take half his shit and I'm gone. The truth is, I don't think that's why that statistic is what it is. I think that there are...
So I went through the Animal Behavior College. So if you just go to animalbehaviorcollege.com or whatever it is, there's a course. It took about 6 months. And then there is an internship where they have mentors who work with Animal Behavior College that are already professionals. You do that, and then you just have a final test, and then you're good to go. So I actually work for a company, so it's a lot easier. I don't have to worry about the business side of it. And it's really the best of both worlds because, like I said, I don't have to worry about, I haven't seen my boss in probably over a year. I don't know any of my coworkers. And it's just a matter of, updating through email. But the benefit also is that I don't have to worry about bringing in new clients. They just send me the client and I have to, sell them over the phone to get an evaluation session where I go out and be like, okay, I got to be in the home to make sure that, I give you the exact thing that you want and you want to pay for exactly what you need, but nothing that you don't. And, and then we go from there. So yeah, a lot of my clients don't even know that I work for a company. They just emailed something online. And, Animal Behavior College, if you guys want to do it, is definitely, not a hard business to break into. Gruntek said, I cracked the code on how men can apologize without losing their dignity to their wives. You apologize for doing what they thought you were doing. Oh, we might have a life hack here. If you thought I was meaning to get poop on your toothbrush, then I apologize. That wasn't my intention. But you have to mean it. There we go. And we have a 19-year wife saying yes. And I didn't say that. Animal. So Quality's asking how well does it pay? I'll say it pays a lot better than the working in restaurants. If I was taking on more clients, because I spend a significant amount of time with you guys, and I'm very introverted. I know you don't believe me, but I need a lot of recharge time. So I could be making decent more money. I could be making pretty decent money. Probably like 50, 60K just from the dog training if I was doing a full schedule. But we're working on this, which is way more important. It is, yeah. It's definitely. I mean, I just have to drive from my house to their house, hang out with the dog. I mean, obviously, I am, actually training and teaching. I'm fucking good at what I do. But yeah, it's not very taxing, and I like dogs. So, you know. All right. Any other dog training questions? Because in case somebody's here for the divorce stuff, I don't want to keep blocking it. But I do love talking about my puppies. My puppies. This one is the only one that really matters. Claudia said, dilly diddly that. Alrighty then. Exactly, Zombie. Grifting is more important than teaching dogs.
Probably an equal number of women that are as dissatisfied in their marriage as there are men, because men, men represent 30-something% of commencement of divorces. Something I have seen many men do, and I think I've, in a 25-year career, only seen maybe 2 women do.
This is funny, HR. This is funny.
Is go out for milk and never come back. They just leave. They just go,
Bye.
Yeah, I'm done. Or they go away on a business trip and then they send their wife an email or call her and say, yeah, I'm not coming home. I've met someone else. I'm sorry. That tends to be a male thing, right? It's not a female thing. Part of that is that men are still primarily the wage earners and breadwinners, so they have the funds with which to go and get themselves an apartment or to do whatever it is that they need to do to just leave. But very often when they do it, they just go and then they don't make any arrangements.
Because I think, I'm sure he's going to get more into this, but I want to put my guess onto it. And I think that if we compare how women look at relationships and men typically look at relationships, I think, let's maybe it's not even that different. Maybe it's not even that different, because we think about this thing, the ick. Oh, he gave me the ick, where it just all of a sudden you saw something, heard something, did something, and it just switched off in your brain. I think that once you get past that date, like once you're committed, I think it's much easier for women to kind of play fast and loose with what's really going on, and they convince themselves. And so it's a much slower, gradual process to when I'm done to I'm leaving. Versus men are more likely to be like, I don't like this, but I'm going to keep working on it. And if it gets to here, then I'm done. I'm still working. It's here. No, I'm done. That's my guess. I don't really know, but that don't make a sense to me. So the Soul said, also true that women don't always want men to solve problems. Sometimes we just need to be heard. My husband will ask me, is this a conversation where I need to fix it or just listen? Works 100% of the time. Yeah, I definitely learned this one. No, I guess I don't, maybe I should have learned it in my high school relationship, but definitely, I assume that we were teenagers at the time, so maybe she wasn't of mind to be able to determine that, hey, when we talk and we fight about these things, it's because I'm just looking to vent and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, college girlfriend was like, yo, that's not what I'm doing here. Just hear me out. I'm like, oh, I got you. Random, but important.
When they do it, they just go, and then they don't make any arrangements. They don't say, oh, and here's how the electric bill is going to get paid, and here's how the mortgage is going to get paid, and here's how the children's school tuition is going to get paid. So then the woman comes into my office or an office like it and says, what do I do? He left. He says he's not coming back. The bills aren't getting paid. He's been the breadwinner. I've been home taking care of kids for the last 10 years. What?
Yikes. Hey, shout out to Jennifer, a.k.a. Arrow, with the big 5. Thank you. So very, very much. Whoa, you good there, bro? It's right here, you blind bat. I really think he's going blind. I think he's going blind, but thank you. No question, no comment, just pure love of the puppy. Welcome. Always a pleasure to see ya. So his husband is a very smart man. I still struggle with that. It really is a man that, like, this is how our brains work. It's always just like, okay, if you have a problem, then let's fix it. Oh, actually, let's take a little side quest, because this is I'm giving you a little bit more view into my life. First, let's see. Equality said there's data to back up your opinion. Maxim in the MGTOW sphere: men will sacrifice their happiness for family. Women will sacrifice the family for her happiness. Yikes. And I think this is the part of, the red pill recovery that I put in the title here is coming back from hearing that type of information and realizing, oh, damn, that really does kind of fit. But I don't want that to change my my worldview here into something that doesn't actually help me. And that's where you know, in terms of the MGTOW stuff, I feel like it keeps people stagnant. But hey, whatever works for you. Dick Johnson said, YouTube gave me the option to hype earlier. I did it like 6 times and the number kept going up. Yeah, so I'm not fully sure what's going on with the hype thing. They haven't really given us a big understanding, but it 1000% helps whatever you're hyping in the algorithm. And so, like, after the stream is done, if you go and if it gives you the option and you hype, sometimes like where the if you scroll under the like if you're on your phone and like the video's up here and then you have the comment section, if you swipe, then sometimes there's an option there. Again, I don't fully understand it, but like all that other stuff, it is free for you, and it might it might really, really help. Shout out to Nicholas. Welcome. Said you rather watch a tree grow or a knee? If I had to watch a knee get bigger, I think that would probably take less time, right? Because trees go hundreds of years. Ha ha! You thought you got me, but you can't. All right. Where are we at? We got I'm reading the fucking thing. We got Jennifer as our new sponsor of the stream. Thank you so very much. Let's dive back in.
Aren't getting paid. He's been the breadwinner. I've been home taking care of kids for the last 10 years. I can get a job, but I'm only going to make minimum wage. I'm not going to be able to pay all of these expenses, and I don't know what's going on. And I say, okay, we have to commence a divorce action. And then they say, well, no, I don't want to get divorced. And I say, well, it doesn't matter if you don't want to get divorced. You need a court order. And the only way to get a court order is to commence an action. And the only action you have to commence is an action for divorce. You can't commence an action for the guy left. There's no such thing. It's a divorce action. So then you have to file a divorce action. So that's where a lot of that statistic comes in.
Again to Arrow, our new sponsor of the stream.
If I saw a trend of a large number of women in the world who were just deciding, you know what, I'm just going to cash out on men, I'd be the first to say it. I know I have lots of friends in the red pill space that would be thrilled. I could write a book about it. I'd sell lots of books because there's lots of people that want to hear simple answers to complicated questions. And if
that is what the red pill was. That is what the red pill was. Simple, what do you say? Simple answers to complicated questions. Simple answers to complicated questions. And they are simple answers, and they are complicated questions. But sometimes the answers are just too simple. They're too simplistic. That's a bar.
Friends in the red pill space that would be thrilled. I could write a book about it. I'd sell lots of books because there's lots of people that want to hear simple answers to complicated questions. And if I could offer it to them, honestly, I would. I don't think that's the case.
You know, I've got a lot of female friends, and when they break up with their relationship or they get divorced, and I ask them why, they always say the same things. He wasn't checking in. He wasn't appreciating. He wasn't listening. He wasn't making the effort. He wasn't taking the time. I checked out, and then it was a couple of years before I made the break.
Yeah.
Is that what you find?
Yeah, all the time. I think that's a very, very common fact pattern that you just described.
Yeah, and that makes perfect sense based on just what I said. Like, okay, I'm aware that I'm unhappy, but I see, you know, going back to what the Soul was saying about it, the difference between conversation to where you just need to be heard versus where you have a problem that needs a solution. And men don't typically, like, there absolutely is that aspect of, like, when if I have something to talk to my dad about, I have to specifically say that same thing to him as well, because he goes into dad mode and wants to solve the issue. And it's like, well, you know, I was on stream and then this happened. Well, maybe next time, Dad, you don't fucking know jack shit about streaming. This is not helpful, because then I have to be like, no, well, I can't do that because of this. You're like, oh, okay, how about this? You're like, well, no, that doesn't work either. Like, do you even want to talk? One more reason why I don't need to add any more of that into my life. But I am getting better. What
I would add to it is very often it's he checked out, he stopped paying attention to me. Look, I think attention is for women what sex is for men. Mm-hmm. You know, men want sex and will give you attention in exchange for it. Women want attention and they'll give you sex in exchange for it. You know, and so it's an economy. And again, I think that's a very fair economy, which is why the chances of you getting laid, if you say to your partner, you're the most beautiful woman in the world, you're so wonderful. You know what? I'll digress for a second. My son texted me the other day.
Is this too fast for you guys?
And he said, Dad, can you send me some money? And I said, you know, son, I just looked at my text. I haven't got a text from you in a week. I said, let me give you a bit of advice because I feel like I'm a financial booty call for you. I said, and I have no problem with the concept of a booty call. But if you're going to be a man,
I remember this part. This is good advice. This is good advice for again, any type of relationship. I know they're specifically focusing on marriage and everything, but now it's just talking father and son. This is a good part. Let's back this up.
Texted me the other day and he said, Dad, can you send me some money? And I said, you know, son, I just looked at my text. I haven't got a text from you in a week. I said, let me give you a bit of advice because I feel like I'm a financial booty call for you. I said, and I have no problem with the concept of a booty call. But if you're going to be a man, let me tell you something you need to know about a booty call. If on a Friday night you text a girl at 1 a.m. saying, hey, are you up? I was just thinking of you. She knows why you're texting her. If you haven't texted her in a week, she's not necessarily going to be receptive to that text. But if on Wednesday you think, you know, I'm going drinking on Friday, I should send that girl, and you send her a, hey, I just heard a song, it made me think of you, hope you're doing well. The chances when you text her on Friday at 1 a.m. and say, hey, are you up? What are you doing? There's a part of her that's going to go,
she's going to think a little bit differently.
I know why he's texting, but you know, he did text on Wednesday. Like, he is clearly interested in me. Your chances are going to go up. I said, if you texted me on Wednesday and said, hey, Dad, how are you doing? Hope all's well. Just wanted to say hi. We should get lunch sometime soon. Now, when you text me and say you want some money, I'll be very quick to send you that money. But because you didn't warm me up at all with any kind of foreplay, the answer is no. You know, so I think that that's a bit the attention piece.
That's some solid fucking parenting. Solid fucking parenting. Really quick, guys, I want to give a shout out to our boy Angry Amputee. You may have noticed he has not been around for a while. He hit me up on Discord to let me know that his son, 19 years old, was in a car accident and he's shaken up, but he's good. So you know, if you believe in prayer or you just want to send positive thoughts, if you're in the Discord, or, you know, take it up with God, best thoughts and wishes to the family of Angry Amputee. He's like, I'm glad he was like, he's in college, so I got to drive him back and forth. I was like, hey man, at least he's still here to be driven. And Angry said, and all limbs. Dilly fucking dilly. All right, I've been back in.
The answer is no. You know, so I think that that's a bit the attention piece and the sex piece. Something men need to figure out is pay a little bit more attention, give a little more compliments to your spouse, and the receptivity towards what it is that you need is going to be much more receptive, I believe, in the long term. But I do think that ultimately, you know, when it comes to women falling out of love, when they feel unseen, unappreciated, and we live in a society, by the way, that is constantly, there's a barrage of attention coming at women.
We live in a society.
I mean,
where's that even from? I don't even remember where that's from anymore. Now it's usually just to make fun of people who are saying basic shit on Reddit. But where did that come from?
A woman goes on Instagram, she's instantly, you're a queen, fire, you know, all the million texts, whereas men, who cares, shut up, go to work. Like, it's not a lot of that coming from us. Dating apps, the same thing happens, you know. So I think that there's a tremendous amount of affirmation coming from all directions for women. This is why I've always said, by the way, that I think I don't know if in the UK you have the concept of the hall pass. You have the concept of the hall pass.
Yes,
so everyone has like a celebrity that you say like, oh, you know, if I get to sleep with, you know, this celebrity, and Nigella Lawson was mine for a long time, you know, and you know, a woman's might be, you know, Harry Styles, you know. Here's the problem with that equation. The chances, I'm using them as examples, I don't know either of them. The chances of like a male celebrity, like a Harry Styles, meeting my girlfriend at an airport lounge and her saying, hey, do you want to run off in the restroom and have a quick shag? And him saying, yeah, why not? Is probably higher than if I ran into Nigella Lawson and I said, you know, just so you're aware, I'm allowed to have sex with you if you'd like to. Then she's going to go, really? I can't. Because women walk out the door and it's just they're barraged by penis options, you know, whereas men, it's not quite so simple. So I think
well, I mean, speak for yourself, bro.
For women, the flow of attention that's coming from random places, the amount of cultural messages telling them how wonderful and amazing and how girl boss, and we're just girl bossing them right into the sun. That's coming at them constantly. So I don't know how many men can really keep up with that. But if you...
So speaking of, I have just put up a poll on the landscape stream. If you'd like to participate in the polls, come on over. Again, a link to the landscape is in the description. Would you attend a ladies' night but for men, for a singles event, meaning that you get in for free and they gotta pay. Let me know. And then, of course, we have the option if you're a woman.
That's coming at them constantly. So I don't know how many men can really keep up with that. But if you don't
Seinfeld, we live in a society. All right, good. I didn't recognize that.
keep up with it at all, and you just have a sort of learned helplessness where you go, all right, look, I can't possibly give her enough attention, so I'm just going to give her none whatsoever. I think that's when the disconnection happens. And that's when very often infidelity happens with women. I've always said men cheat more, but women cheat better. Like women cheat bigger. Women cheat in ways that are like the soft place to land, the exit out of the relationship. And culturally, by the way, women get away with cheating.
I'm sending these screenshots to him. So if you would like to be featured, just say what's in your heart.
In a way that men don't. If a man cheats on his wife, he's a piece of garbage who couldn't keep it in his pants. If a woman cheats on her husband, it's, you know, she was desperate for love and attention, and this was her journey, and she needed to figure out who she was, and she needed to learn that the relationship was truly over, and only by crossing that final threshold of being with another person did she really solidify in her mind.
Wait, but that means that you'd be trying to pick up. Wait, but what? Wait, whoa. Reverse drag. Meaning that you dress up as a dude and try to get women to go out with you? What? How does that help you? What does that even do for you?
Only by crossing that final threshold of being with another person did she really solidify in her mind the
So in case you didn't hear, our boy Angry Amputee, who is a regular here, if you're new, you may not know him, but if you do, then just letting you guys know that he is dealing with some family issues. His son got into a car accident. Everybody is fine, but, you know, just a lot of stuff around that. So I don't believe in God, but, you know, obviously sent him my my best wishes and thoughts. And if you do, then go for it, because he definitely does. He is a Christian.
distance that had final threshold of being with another person did she really solidify in her mind the distance that had developed between she and her spouse. She's the hero of that story, even though she's the one who cheated.
Do you think there's some truth to that, though? You kind of did a satirical take on it. It was, I think
there's truth. Look,
he's good. Yeah, it was his son. He said just shaken up, but all good. So the soul said it's messed up how different society treats women cheaters versus men cheaters. Another great thing brought to us by feminism, probably. No, yeah, it definitely is feminism. But I think the notion is that these double standards that exist aren't really a problem until we try to act like only one side has double standards. And so, you know, we're talking about, okay, like if a woman cheats, then it's like, oh my God, yes, queen, you did that, and then not for men. But then on the other side, if you sleep around a lot as a man, then, you know, you're the man. But if you sleep around as a woman, you're a whore. And that's true. It's when you try to when women cheat, it's because the men made him or made her. But then, well, my body count doesn't matter. That's when it's a problem. Ironically, the double standard of double standards.
So that, though, you kind of did a satirical take on it. It was, I think
there's truth. Look, I think the truth is at the bottom of a bottomless pit. And I think as someone who gets paid to tell people stories, I will tell you that, you know, most people, if you really listen to their story, there's some element to it where they're a sympathetic character. I mean, I'm skeptical anytime someone tells me the story of their life and they're the hero of the story. I prefer when someone tells me the story of their life and they have heroic moments and they have weak moments, and then, you know, that gives a credibility to the story. But yes, of course, there's something to that. But it's equally true that, you know, that the man might be in a position where, yeah, she just has continually beat me down emotionally and egotistically, and she's so constantly getting praise and attention, and I really am just this person by the side. And meanwhile, I take such good care of her and our family, and, you know,
No Name said, I don't think the Charlie Sheen shit is true. I don't care about how many girls another dude sleeps with. What are you referring to? What is that Charlie Sheen shit? Tiger Blood! I mean, I'm familiar with Charlie Sheen. I'm not specific, like in this context. What is the relevance? Can't triple stamp a doubles? Dilly. Dilly fucking dilly. There you go. Yep. And that's fine. It's fine that we are different. So sleeping with someone is different for a man than it is for a woman. Now, I mean, the argument, you guys debate whether it's different if a man cheats versus a woman cheating, but it's the wanting to benefit from the double standards that go in your direction and rejecting the ones that don't. Like, goes both ways.
A barrage of attention from women, but I've always ignored it. And then finally I got so lonely that, that the attention of this other female just started out as something that was kind of innocent. And then it turned into something less innocent, but it really taught me how disconnected I had come from that and how hungry I was for the connection physically and emotionally to another person. It's a real story. It's a truthful story. It's a fair story. Again,
shout out to 50 Miggy, said shitty people are just shitty people. Nothing to do with their gender. The cheating is the same. Do you guys agree or disagree? I tend to agree. But we'll see. I don't see. Yeah, I mean, I personally don't see a guy as a hero because he slept with a lot of women. But the act of getting a woman to say, "Okay, yes, I want to sleep with you," does take some level of skill, as opposed to being a woman just like, yeah, like there's nothing there. It's just a different thing, and that's totally fine.
And the answer in both of those situations, if we're being moral and truthful, is to go back to our partner and say, hey, I'm thinking of sleeping with this other person. That's how far apart we are now. Can we fix this?
Damn. So, I mean, same principle as before when he's like, the thing you said about your sister, same principle. Can we fix this? Because just because you don't say it doesn't mean that it doesn't need fixing.
Because if we can't, let's end it. And if we want to fix it, okay, then we got to fix it because it's broken right now. We don't want to do that. That's hard.
But that's exactly the right thing to do.
It's exactly the right thing to do. It's the only thing to do. It's the moral thing to do. I mean, but it's under.
So I said, once you've been together long enough, you'll get to sleep with many people anyhow. Got to keep that shit interesting. Skinny, chubby, pregnant, blonde, brunette. I've been all of those women. Fair enough. That's a good point. That is a good point. And I mean, who was it? I can't remember who. Oh, maybe it was this. Maybe it's this. But they were specifically talking about this point where it's, the woman that you love, and then it becomes a different attraction of the mother of your children. That I miss with that communication stuff. I mean, hey, it ain't for everybody, but it does seem to be the key to marriage.
Yeah,
it's the only thing to do. It's the moral thing to do. I mean, but it's understandable that people don't do that, right? I mean, my sons are adults now, but when they were growing up, I said to them, look, I don't have a lot of wisdom to offer you because I think a lot of the wisdom that's out there isn't worth very much. But the most wise thing I've ever been taught and the most wise thing I have to impart to you is that the hard thing to do and the right thing to do are almost always the same thing.
That's such a good point about life in general.
But in relationships in particular, because in a marriage, the hard thing to do is to tell your spouse how you're feeling. Honestly and candidly. The hard thing to do is when your spouse says something critical of you or something you don't want to hear but need to hear it from love. To hear it as, this person wants to tell me the truth. They love me enough to tell me an uncomfortable truth. Like
fair. I think, when, like, especially in this political online space, we value when people challenge us because that's what we come to the table for. But I can definitely tell you, as I was saying before, being introverted and everything, this takes a lot out of me. And so, whether we go to the after party or whether I go on a panel or whatever, I'm in that mode. But once I'm done, I need a moment to kind of, calm down and kind of and recharge. And I forgot what I was saying. What did you just say?
Person.
Oh, yeah. So in this space, we appreciate when people are challenging us because, one, it's good content. Two, it allows us to better ideas. But in a different context, in a relationship, that can be much more difficult. But I think equally, if not more, important. Because, I mean, you could just be a grifter and just always just say bullshit. But, that'll only work so long in a marriage, in a relationship. Yeah, decompression is real. I'm already looking forward to the fact that I don't have any clients tomorrow and I don't have to stream tomorrow. Not because I love this. I love hanging out with you guys. I love it so much, but it just zaps my energy. It zaps my energy. So I'm just gonna be in bed the whole day. That being said, if you guys are on TikTok, Indian Jesus Official, I'm definitely gonna be watching some shit. The new episode of The Pit was fucking gangster. If you care about movies and TV like stuff, movies and TV and stuff like that, check me out on TikTok.
Wants to tell me the truth. They love me enough to tell me an uncomfortable truth. Like that's the hard thing to do, but it's the right thing to do. It's the right thing to do if you want what you purported to have wanted when you married this person, which is I want it to be you and I, the two.
Yeah. So I said, hearing an uncomfortable truth and trying to keep at the forethought of your being that the person saying it truly loves you and wants the best is a challenge. It does get easier though with time. And I mean, again, not having been married, I've just got to draw on the experiences that I do have, and being a streamer like this, there is from the very beginning. Like I understood the whole parasocial relationship thing. I've watched YouTube forever. I understand. I had an understanding of that type of thing, but I didn't realize that it would be immediate. Just the fact that somebody, and I'm not calling anybody out here in particular, but if you know about some of the drama that's gone on in the community, then you know. But just because people see your face on their phone or on their TV or whatever, and there's branding that matches, and you wear the same fucking shirts, so that stuff like that, then it's harder for people to see you as a real person. And so the uncomfortable truths that people were levying at me, there was no aspect of, oh, they truly love me. They were, most of the time, people saying things, it was in good faith, and they did generally want what's best for me. But yeah, it's difficult. Just like, I just want to do what I want to do, and I'm the best at everything, and nobody can tell me anything, but it doesn't really work like that. 50 said, we are playing catch up with the new reality of relationships. My father never taught me how to be in a healthy relationship. Same here. It took me a long time to develop the skills to speak truth to my wife. Yeah, I mean, I don't necessarily want to throw any more shade at my family than needs to, and especially Papa Lutch, who is the greatest. But he, through no fault of his own, because he was working a lot, he just wasn't around a lot. And so I didn't get that experience of learning how to be a man in a relationship. Take aside the fact that both my parents are boomers, and I'm a millennial, so they're not Gen X, and neither of them are American. So they don't have any experience with it, even if they did try. So that's why I was still 20 years old and thinking, that women are sugar and spice and everything nice. I just didn't know.
When you married this person, which is I want it to be you and I, the two of us, a team together, connected, holding each other's hand in this terrifying, uncertain world, and we will have each other. Because
this is good, actually. That's a shout out to both of you. So HR Deathboat said, men I was involved with for extended periods didn't want to be seen into their depths. And so this end is saying it's scary for a lot of men. It goes against much of what they generally hear in society. Bingo. Abso-fucking-lutely. So, I mean, I had, both my parents married. We had a comfortable life, all that kind of stuff. And still, the expectation that I needed to perform, I needed to provide, I needed to do, just in society, not even talking about relationships, the expression of emotion. And again, we're talking about the participation trophy generation. So, like, I can't even imagine what it would be like to have an emotion as a child being Gen X. But as a millennial, it as much as it was much more acceptable as a boy or a man to have emotions, it still wasn't, it still wasn't great. And of course, the pendulum swings. And now, like, if you're a crying little beta bitch, then it's a good thing. But that balance does exist. Shout out to Full Metal Chad. Welcome. So I got lucky. My girl and I grew up with only a father, so we were able to just be different together. There you go. That's all you need, right? To find your puzzle piece. Yeah, I said sugar and spice and demonic possession.
In this terrifying, uncertain world, and we will have each other. Because I tell you, I believe very deeply in the romantic love of two people. I really believe in I won't even say marriage, because I think
ooh, let's go there. So I mean, I think we're kind of split. I'll take the 50-50 with the poll. So it's 38-38, but 25% of you are women. So it's split down the middle whether or not you would go to a singles event for free. That being said, let's take a little side quest. Where's my side quest sound? Where are they? Oh, fancy! Where are you?
All right, so a certain post on X broke the entire platform yesterday, and it was this from an account called Short Squeeze. This person wrote, breaking, the new...
Oh, sorry, hold on.
All right, so a certain post on X broke the entire platform yesterday, and it was this from an account called Short Squeeze. This person wrote, breaking, the New York Times found the dating for women in NYC is so brutal that some dating events are charging women $100 and men $0, and the attendance ratio is still 3-to-1 women to men. And
so in case you missed that, this is the post. New York Times found dating women in New York City is so brutal that some dating events are charging women $100 and men get in for free, and it is still 3-to-1.
that got almost 11 million views in 24 hours. And AI image or not, if you guys are watching on YouTube, you can see that this is very clearly AI generated, but the Red Pill Bros immediately took this information as a win, just reveling in how much men now have all of the power in the dating market. They have control. And listen, all of that is fine, dandy, get excited, be happy, but I just have to say, it really does feel like a certain sect of the internet just wants men and women to hate each other. They profit off of that. A healthy, fruitful society where men and women live in harmony and work together, it just doesn't seem like part of their plan. Let me explain. Now, before we dive into this story,
let me see where, because she pulls up Myron Gaines' tweet, and it's just like, why is this a good thing? Why is this a good thing? Is it here? Let's see.
And are good enough isn't working out for men. One account posted, you're telling me the last 15 years of women saying men are good enough isn't working out for them? LMFAO. And I mean, touche, you're not wrong. Another person commented and said, the dirty secret of today's sexual marketplace is that men with good looks and game are having a field day. They have their choice of great women who cannot demand commitment from them. The sexual revolution has made women all go for the same top 20% of men. And if you are in the top 20%, it is truly a golden age. Now, there are so many comments, and you'll see this, where they're, and again, like, I am not disputing at all that women and feminism helped cause this. Like, I am not disputing that women F around, they work hard, they spent decades telling men that they are worthless.
So bad in New York City.
Okay.
Great.
Right. Hey, shout out to the Black Triage. Welcome. Apparently, that is Dietrich. Good to see you, brother. Welcome to the party. We are taking a little side quest, talking about how women are desperate and lonely, and men are just chilling. Welcome. Make the tapeworms pay. Yeah.
Crying out loud. Just watch this TikTok.
Guys, the dating scene is getting so bad in New York City that I am seeing on TikTok there are girls going into Midtown during the week and stealing Finance Bros salads for lunch. And then looking their name up from the salad order on LinkedIn and then messaging them through there and being like, hey, oh my God, so sorry, I grabbed your salad. Like, let me just make it up to you and buy you a new one.
Weird.
And that's how they're like sliding in, which honestly, smart. Why are we stealing men's salads? Like, why can't they just come up to us at a bar? Like,
okay, well, they're not coming up to you at a bar because number one, rejection is awful, but also they don't want to be Me Too'd. And for the last however many years, everything has become digital. Anyway, that's a total.
True. So I can't find is this it? All right, let's see what this is saying about Mr. MGTOW over here. Quality said the reason one may consider it a good thing is the necessary, unpleasant medicine along the way to resolving the relationship clusterfuck of the modern age. I mean, okay, I definitely hear that. Let's see what another MGTOWer. How do you call yourself? Another MGTOWer commenting, and we'll see what you think of what Brett said.
Something remarkable, so I had to read it. But this person said, you have correctly diagnosed the rigged game, but the men going their own way movement is a fatal prescription. Opting out to grind video games and stack cash is the path of exile. A retreat masquerading as...
Hold on, I missed it. Hold on, wait a minute. It's right here.
Games, men and agree. Positive way forward. You said 6 years as if it is thankfully we do completely unhealthy to claim that the consequence is actually the positive way forward. And thankfully we do not live in a completely deranged society because many commenters agree. Like one guy said, you say this as if it is a good thing. Congratulations on doing your part to drive a wedge between men and women. Another person said 6 years later and the master plan is opt out and play video games. Revolutionary. If your grand solution to modern dating is retreat and resentment, that is not power. That is avoidance with branding. I love that comment. And let's be honest, it is branding because this is his business. What is happening now is profitable for his business and the messages that he espouses.
I can't. You don't even have a full understanding of the luck is the wrong word, but it also isn't. the difference in what dating was like, because I'm old enough to have been dating in high school before social media. Yeah, is different. Yeah, I sped her up a little bit just for the side quest.
This comment was just wild and remarkable, so I had to read it. But this person said, "You have correctly diagnosed the rigged game, but the men going their own way movement is a fatal prescription. Opting out to grind video games and stack cash is the path of exile, a retreat masquerading as true independence. By withdrawing, you avoid the pain and friction of the modern dating market, but you abdicate the throne entirely. A true king doesn't surrender to the chaos or hide in digital comfort. He burns
Why do they all got to talk like this?
the false map, masters the laws of the territory, and builds an unbreakable frame. Do not mistake a comfortable cage for a kingdom." I love that.
Oh my god.
Take that comment to heart. Back to the point.
So yeah, let's go through that exactly. It said you have correctly diagnosed the rigged game, but so this is I'm going to address this directly to you, Equality, as a MGTOWer. So you have correctly diagnosed the rigged game, but the MGTOW movement is a fatal prescription. Again, if you're not familiar, MGTOW just means men going their own way, and some are actively, not dating. Some are just like, well, I'm just going to do my own thing, and if some magic woman falls in my lap, like, hey, but I'm not doing that, doing anything more than that. So that men going their own way movement is a fatal prescription. Opting out to grind video games and stack cash is the path of exile, a retreat masquerading as true independence. And so, just as Guamtech was saying before, where me and DJ were saying, oh man, we love being able to do whatever we want to do whenever we want to do it. Guamtech's like, you know what? It's a little bit different when you have a reason. And of course, it takes the right type of woman, which is the main issue. But that's why I'm not cutting myself off entirely. And then, all this gay shit. A true king doesn't surrender to the chaos or hide in digital comfort. He burns the false map, masters and the laws of the territory, builds an unbreakable frame. Do not mistake comfortable cage for a kingdom. And so, it's said in a very gay way, but I really do agree. So Equality said, a true king bows to women, vaginal sycophant. Okay, the King's Road comment is not impressive. All right, fair enough. I tend to agree. Let's see, hold on. Let me just see what else we got here. So, all right, let's just watch this video.
Higher dating landscape. For example, take this TikTok.
If you're a pretty successful woman trying to date in New York City, you might genuinely be cooked. People talk about how it's the greatest city in the world for dating. For guys, yeah, there's a 70-30 split. Everyone here has a college degree. Women are smarter than men these days. For being one of the most diverse, beautiful cities in the world, a lot of the guys here are very bland. You want a finance bro? You want a traditional 5'7" douchebag? Go for it. But then the dudes that do well here with women have all the options in the world and have massive egos. And there can be a paradox where as a successful, attractive woman, you have all the options, but how many of those options do you really want and do you want to commit and would want to commit to you? And I think a lot of women really want guys to be respectful and be confident and go up to them in person, but it's not happening. And because so much of dating is online dating, you get in this cycle of all the options in the world and yet no options at all.
Tell them, HR. Tell them. I mean, they don't seem to get it. And so again, I just wanted to show this because that's where the question, the poll question came from about would you go to a singles event where you as a man could get in free and the women are paying $100 to be there. Now, I personally would not do that because I don't really want to see the type of women who would pay $100 to go on a date with me. I mean, before they know me. That's a little weird. Not because of anything with me, but just because that screams desperation to me. I don't know. Weird. All right, let's dive back in here.
I tell you, I believe very deeply in the romantic love of two people. I really believe in I won't even say marriage, because I think marriage and love are, correlation isn't causation. And I don't really know that there's even much of a correlation between marriage and love. But I don't think I can learn everything I need to know about myself from myself. I need someone who sees my blind spots. And I want to have someone who I can help see theirs. And we can ideally at the end of our lives, I mean, there's no greater blessing I could offer your marriage than to say that I hope at the end of your life, your spouse says, this person helped me become the most authentic version of myself, the realest version of myself. And that you can look at her and say, you helped me become the best and most authentic version of who I am. Like that, what greater
this is where I feel like there is a diversion from red pill, MGTOW, manosphere, that type of content or that type of message, shall I say, and what we're dealing with here. Both are trying to address reality and realities that maybe a lot of us, well, I was a young man, I'm getting old now, but a lot of us when we were young men didn't get this information. The problem again is that because it's content based, it seems to be an inherent thing of, oh, I need to bring you back, and once you get the basic information, you kind of just get it. It's either apply it or don't. And so the next step is to just bash women and be the bizarro feminism.
blessing could you offer someone's marriage than that?
And this kind of saying like that kind of stuff is not really what you hear from red pill spaces. I mean, love him or hate him, Andrew Wilson is probably the closest red pill adjacent person who is talking about marriage in this way. Now, he's not even as soft, a little bit more, I don't even know what the word is, but even him saying that marriage is good.
James, and there's some other stats that I want to look into as well, because I'd be very...
We go from love to stats.
Yeah, I know.
Just right in there. Just
me and James are having a conversation about marriage.
Typical
and you're
man.
just like, but what about this?
What about the numbers?
Yeah.
Go on, mate. Go on.
So
Typical man.
I read this stat that I think it's around a third of men leave their wife or initiate divorce when they have cancer or they get diagnosed with a serious illness.
The man gets cancer or the woman?
Well, the woman gets cancer.
Right.
And
I ain't staying with that bitch.
on the flip side, another stat that I read was that about, I think
What is
it's
this
30%
job?
of all of women initiate divorce when the man loses his job.
Yes.
Got him. That's fucked up. Both are fucked up, but that's fucked up. Because you could get another job. You could get another job. If you're gonna die from cancer, you're dead.
How true is that?
Yeah.
Or are there myths surrounding it? And is it just stats that we actually need to explode?
The cancer one I can't speak to. I will certainly say that in my experience of watching the demise of thousands of marriages ringside, that I do think men sometimes hit the eject button faster than women when challenges occur, which is always a bit surprising to me because I do think the masculine ideal is one of meeting challenges and the warrior concept. And so I've always found that sort of baffling, that when things get hard in a relationship, that a man would not want to deal with the hard aspect of it is a little strange, but I can't speak to the veracity of that statistic. I can tell you if the statistic about job loss is only 1/3, I'd be surprised. I think it's probably actually much higher than that. My experience is that when men lose their job, there is a tremendous high divorce rate that comes with it.
I agree. I like Rachel way more than I like Andrew. But I like, he's usually like, oh well, she's a lot nicer than, or she's a lot she's a lot more debate bro-y than me. I don't find it that way. I think she's much easier to talk to.
The only thing that I have seen as reliable of a tracker of a coming divorce, other than a man losing his primary wage earning function, losing his primary job, is the death of a child. The death of a child is almost always the death of a marriage. That when people lose a child,
I don't even know if Akon's parents are still together. That's a good point. I should definitely figure that out. So Colin said, I would agree that marriage is good, but through a historical lens. Today, it is not. Simple analogy. Oh my God, come on, give me that. Simple analogy. Swimming is good and healthy, but do you want to swim in a pool full of piss and shit? No. Obviously not. I don't think the analogy fits though, because if you have a pool that's full of piss and shit, then there's no way to have clean water there. And so if you're unless you are of the opinion that all women are just like the typical online woman, then the analogy doesn't track. Because the understanding is that, okay, yeah, women do be like that, but there's some diamonds in the rough. And if you find them, then it's worth it. So do you not even think that that there are women out there to be found? Like, is it just all of the good women have been married and now anyone who's born can't be? I mean, I'm kind of being a little bit tongue-in-cheek with that, but I'm trying to kind of nail you down on that. Because the analogy does, I mean, I get the analogy that swimming is good and healthy and fun and all that, but context can change it. But we gotta nail down on the specifics that I don't disagree that dating is like a pool with piss and shit in it, but it's different in the sense that I can't swim in that pool anywhere. There's no chance that I get in that pool and I find water that is not contaminated. Versus in the dating market, even though it's very shitty and pissy, there's a solid chance, maybe not a great chance, but a solid chance that I would find someone. The analogy is just to convey the general idea. Yeah, totally makes sense. I mean, you ain't gonna get any arguments from me about how bad the dating market is. And Claudia said there are good women. And yeah, so the decision that you have to make is just, are you willing to wade through the bullshit in order to find what you believe is on the other side? And as for me right now, like on a timeline of my whole life, yes, I think that's worth it. But like today, am I going on dating apps today? No. Am I going out to singles events where I get in free? No. But, things will change. I might be moving soon. We might be getting some more money in, all that shit. Shout out to Dr. Studios' favorite pizza topping. We were just talking about this yesterday. Chicken bacon ranch is number 1. Solid pepperoni is number 2. And bacon and I forget, what was the other one? Bacon and broccoli I used to get, I think. I don't know. It was some vegetable. I don't remember, but Jersey pizza is the one. Yeah, when you have solid pizza, plain pizza, pepperoni pizza will do the trick.
The death of a child is almost always the death of a marriage. That when people lose a child, the statistics are very, very grim. Over 85% of people who lose a child end up getting divorced. Partly because I think they remind each other of this very painful reality of having lost a child.
Since my ex-wife and I, my ex-wife and I divorced after she had an ectopic pregnancy, and we were told she would not be able to have kids. It was mutual. I wanted to be a dad, and she couldn't make me one. She thought I deserved to be a father. It was hard on both of us, but we both agreed it was the right thing to do. We're in mid-30s, and I still have no kids. I mean, was there a discussion about like adoption or anything? Hawaiian pizza is good if it's done well. The pineapple and ham is fire if it's done well. Like Domino's cannot do Hawaiian pizza, but like a real pizza place can definitely do it. So I shunned dating for years because I didn't want the same thing to happen again. And that's the decision, right? It's like, do I want to subject myself to this for maybe the greatest prize ever, but only maybe, and very likely it's not going to be a prize at all. Tough decision.
But they remind each other of this very painful reality of having lost a child. But men losing their job is a tremendous tracker as to divorce. I think, again, there is a school of thought that would like to say that women are cashing out the chips and, oh, well, he lost his job, he's no longer useful. I think the rate of increased substance use issues that comes with a man losing his job, I think Scott Galloway could speak very intelligently to this, that the things that happen to a man as his place in the society, in the ecosystem of the world, that when a man loses his job, he is losing his manhood. He is losing his function as a wage earner. He is losing the way he defines himself. I mean, within the first 10 minutes of meeting a man, so what is it that you do? It's ingrained in our cultural zeitgeist as to how we interact with each other. I mean, in Japan, you hand your business card to someone and you take their business card. It's sort of fundamental to, so what is it that you do? So I think when a man loses that, he's losing his identity. Very often substance use issues come up because the person starts drinking more to cope with the stress and depression that comes with having lost their job. So it's also a powerlessness that men have to experience when you lose.
And Sam, the reason I ask is because, again, just coming from, I've never been in those situations. I've never had that type of relationship with someone. I've never gotten someone pregnant on purpose. And so the reason I ask is, like, do you feel that you're happier now with the potential that you may have biological kids versus the stability that you had in every other area with this woman. I mean, I know it's are you religious? I mean, definitely, if you're religious, I understand a bigger emphasis on the, the biological kids. I don't personally think that way. I mean, absolutely, I would like to, keep the bloodline going. But if I was in a situation where I found someone that I loved and we wanted to have kids, again, I'm speaking from ignorance. So don't be like, well, this kid's telling me what to. Just put it out there. And yeah, so I mean, I don't know. If she's still single, bro, go be like, hey, while I find some surrogate, let's do the thing. Let's live life, baby. I don't know. It's tough. We get so hung up on our past because especially as you get older, your best days are behind you. At least it seems that way. I mean, are you ever going to be as happy as you were at 5 years old during the summer, just playing outside with your friends? Probably not. Unless, of course, you go through, find a woman, have all these kids. Oh. I hear you, man. I hear you. Well, not as much as I can. As much as I can. It's tough, man.
With having lost their job. So it's also a powerlessness that men have to experience when you lose your job. I mean, very often you're talking about people who work within the context of a corporate structure. So when they lose their job, it's through no fault of their own, but also they're utterly powerless. And now they can't provide for their family. They feel powerless. They feel impotent. They feel awful. And
start a YouTube channel.
And that's going to impact the manner in which they interact with their spouse. So again, if a woman files for divorce because you lost your job, sorry, I'm out, that is probably different. But I don't think statistically that's what's happening. I think what's happening is a man loses his job and then some time passes. And during that time period, very often that man increases the amount he's drinking. He's angry. He's frustrated. He's lashing out at his spouse. These are all things that have a concomitant effect.
I agree. I agree that makes a lot more sense. And this goes back to the fact like, 80% of women file for divorce. That doesn't mean that they were inherently the problem. It doesn't mean that they're not, but it's not a metric that we can use. It just that our past is for learning. Our future is not guaranteed. All we have is our present. There's nowhere to run, which is exactly why, as someone who doesn't necessarily believe in an afterlife, this is not a waiting room. This is all we have. Sam said she called me the night before she got remarried. I don't know why. We had not talked in years. I'm happy for her. Well, I'm happy that you could, you can handle that. I definitely have some lingering shit about the women that I was in long-term relationships with. And I mean, especially because I was young, it is what it is. But I definitely see ways that, like, okay, I could have been a little bit different. And they're both, I've had 2 3-year relationships. Those were like serious relationships, and they're both married with kids now. It's like, goddamn, is it me?
Frustrated. He's lashing out at his spouse. These are all things that have a concomitant effect. So then when she leaves, you're leaving me because I lost my job. No, I'm leaving you because you lost your job. You've been sitting around the house depressed. You're screaming at me and at the children constantly, and you're drinking 10 times more than you used to. So if you want to say it's because you lost your job, yeah, that was the first domino that fell. But plenty of people lose their job and don't add all of those, injuries to the insult, right? So I think that is...
Okay, so now do the opposite for the woman who gets cancer.
That is, again, one of those... I'm constantly looking for patterns. I'm constantly older man, younger woman, younger man, older woman, like what I'm constantly lived together before, didn't, same religion, different religion. Do Jews do better at marriage than Christians? How are Muslims at it? Like, I'm constantly trying to look for patterns.
Muslims are great at marriage because they kill you if you want to leave.
If they were there, I'd be the first person to say it. But I really don't. I think we are multidimensional organisms. Human emotional complexity comes into this, and it's an ecosystem,
Different. Same. What is it? Different, but same.
And like any ecosystem, like you take the lizards out of the ecosystem, you don't have the same ecosystem, less lizards. Because the lizards ate the insect, and the insect ate the plant, and the plant was something that this other animal ate, and now everything's screwed up. We have a whole new ecosystem. So a man loses his job, or a baby is born, or a person gets diagnosed with cancer, it's not just we have the old marriage plus baby, or we have the old, I'm sure when you look at your marriage, it's not, it was our marriage plus baby. It's like before baby, after baby.
Correct.
Everything is different after that because it's an ecosystem. It's a non-additive system. So you have to think about the problems in marriage that same way, which is why when you're saying to people, here's how you fix marriage, or better yet, maintain it. Because it's a whole lot easier to maintain it than to fix it. It's like it's a whole lot easier to maintain a healthy weight than to gain a ton of weight and then try to lose it. So my books, my writing, all of my speaking on this is all about how do you stay in love? It's easy to fall in love.
Too easy. Too easy to fall in love. How do you stay in love? Shout out to David in the building. So I was married for 17 years and nothing was ever good enough for her. But she gave me 3 healthy children and they are the best thing that has ever happened in my life. They were worth it. Well, dilly dilly to the children. And you know, I wonder, or I have. I mean, it's not a common thing, but I have wondered about like, would I be happier if I was divorced with kids? Like, if I got together with the wrong woman and made kids, and obviously would love those kids, how would that be? I don't know. All of this stuff is difficult because we only have the life that we've lived. All right? Where's Box? Box is the one who said we should cover this. I told him we were covering it. He's probably off watching Young Turks or something.
All about how do you stay in love? It's easy to fall in love. Any idiot can do it. But now we're in love. How do we stay there? Because once we go off the cliff and we fall out of love, it's much, much harder.
It's a really profound point. And there's another thing that I want to talk to you about, which angry men talk about. And it's not just angry.
What Reddit groups are you hanging out in? Really?
I'm too right-wing for
Yeah,
Reddit.
I was going to say, yeah.
No, I'm joking. But it's a very serious issue, and I've seen friends go through it, and it's really, really has a profound impact on them, which is the family courts. And they say family courts are biased in favor of the mother. You know, it's as a man, you are going to always get a rough deal. It feels like you're always trying to prove that you're not an asshole, and you're going to.
Well, we remember that 90% of all men that fight for the custody of their kids win, right? So it's just deadbeat dads that don't have their kids, right? Put one in the chat if you did not see the discussion about that between the lead attorney and Russell and KD. I will side quest the fuck out of that all goddamn day.
A rough deal. It feels like you're always trying to prove that you're not an asshole, and you're going to get completely cleaned up by lawyers, etc. What are the truths?
Yeah.
What are the myths? What's the gray areas?
Yeah, I mean, look, that is fair comment. I will not say that all courts are made up of people. I mean, our legal system, I jokingly say our legal system is the worst one in the world except for all the other ones. You know? But you're absolutely correct that there are a gigantic number of men that get an incredibly raw deal in the family court system. Why? I think there's a very complex myriad of answers to that question. I think you have to start with the fact that under her skin is under her sovereignty, right? So a baby is born from a woman. Maybe it's a controversial thing to say that, but I don't know. Shouldn't be. But
not here. Not here.
In New York, this is a controversial thing to say. Yeah. But women have babies, and women theoretically feed babies, right? So there is a bond between a mother and an infant that is undeniable. And I don't think that we devalue men. I don't think it's misandrist to say that there is a very special and unique bond between mother and baby.
100%.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's kind of, or rather, it should be pretty obvious. Like, as much as, you know, the man is part of it, like, it's in her body. Only real men can give birth, right?
She carried
this child for 9 months, the sound, the scent, all of the things. There is a bond between mothers and children.
I mean, the good thing, Sam saying thinking about growing old with no children is pretty depressing. But yeah, you could still impregnate a woman. But in my 40s, seems kind of selfish. Average men live to their 70s. I don't know that I agree. And I mean, again, of course, you don't have to listen to me, but just I don't know that I agree with that. That there's a lot of people who are older parents. And because of the fact that they're older, because of the fact that they're not, you know, just figuring life out, and this is just the new thing, that those kids get a little bit more of a better structure. And I mean, typically, we all lose our parents at some point. And even having children young, you can still pass away. Hopefully not, but you can still pass away. So I do think that I'm even, I mean, if you're past 50, okay, maybe you don't want to be having kids. Shout out to Theo Vaughn, who talks about how his dad was 70 when he was born. And he never really had any kind of relationship like that with his dad because of the age difference. And, that makes sense to me. But, I think we're still good. We're still good. We're still good. In 10 years, we'll worry. But for now, let's just see how it plays out.
The sound, the scent, all of the things. There is a bond between mothers and children that is beyond something that men, particularly when they're in those what we call tender years or those very early infant years, very hard to. And look, I say that as a father. When my kids have a very deep relationship with me, they always have. But when they get sick, they want their mom. When they are scared, they want their mom. When they love their mom, especially when they were quite little. When they were afraid of the monster in the closet, they needed dad. And I was very quick to come in with the anti-monster powder. It was actually just baby talc, but they didn't know.
Yeah, I lost that shit at like age 3. Mom was the bad one. Dad was the good one at like age 3.
But the reality is that, yes, we serve different roles to some degree. And the woman's role with a child early on is very profound. So we're starting from that place. Mm-hmm. Now, courts are made up of people. And for a long time, like many institutions of power, I mean, early in my career, 25 years ago, the bench was predominantly white heterosexual men. It was old white men. It was old men with gray hair. Like,
now we need DEI.
It was great because I would go in and I would wear my suit. And I was very I looked like the kind of guy they used to have a beer with when they were young. And I kept my hair short and I kept my face nicely shaved so that
cover up those tattoos.
That I would please that type of a person. That has changed dramatically. Like judges now, primarily women. Very often women of color, very often lesbian women of color. There has become, again, the bench, particularly in New York where I practice, resembles society now. And it almost has overcorrected in the same way that like every bank commercial, the bank officer is black, the couple is biracial or gay and biracial.
As any man should, right, Jason?
Like we've just created this world of like, oh yes, this is the imagined world that we all would like to live in. And the bench is starting to look like that. Now,
happy to hear your story if you want to share. If not, totally cool.
Again, what has that created? Well, it's created opportunities for the court system to view gender differently, to view male and female roles differently. We also now have marriage equality. So, you have 2 men with children, 2 women with children. So there's no mother or father. There's now just 2 parent 1 and parent 2.
Yep.
So a lot of that has changed. I will tell you.
Is there, how do we even articulate that? Like, yes, it has been overcorrected, but to such a degree that like, we need a whole new word for that. We need a whole new word.
There's now just 2 parent 1 and parent 2. So a lot of that has changed. I will tell you, it's gotten better in recent years.
We get down every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday night at 8 p.m. Eastern. Guys, if you are new here, please do hit that subscribe. Again, I am live every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern, and sometimes whenever I feel like it. I was just live last night. Oh, it was wild. Someone came in and had me doing 75 push-ups right off rip. Didn't even have to worry about the goal. And it was wild. So you always want to subscribe. And you know that YouTube sucks with those notifications. So you may as well ring the bell so you never miss an Indian Jesus live party ever again.
Because when it was primarily old white men, they were looking at it and going like, well, mothers, sacred mothers are the greatest. My mother was the greatest, and their fathers were like my father. My father went to work every day. My mother did all the heavy lifting of parenting. My dad kept the lights on and he was there to discipline us every now and again and go out back and play catch and things like that. Taught me how to fish. But is he,
Well, I did go fishing once with my dad. But yeah, like that. My mom was she held down the fort. And I mean, I have issues with the way she did it, but there, age differences, cultural differences, all that kind of stuff. And, my brother is definitely a unique person. So as a first child, I can imagine that there was some tribulations that were then projected onto me, but, life happens. Sam said my dad was always working in Alaska. We were scared when he came home because my mom told him about all the misbehaving we were doing while he was gone. But he was still chill most of the time. When he got home, he got scolded. Oh, poor baby, you got scolded. We got beat. shoes, belts, fucking, oh man, talk about being overcorrected, you know what I'm saying? Dilly dilly to me. That was a good one. Yep. And so it was the other way around. It was the other way around for me. Because then if dad finds out, then it's like, all right, let's keep your mother happy. He was very much a happy wife, happy life kind of dude. And my mom needs a very happy wife, happy life kind of dude. But I'm not trying to do that. All right. I'm back again. Did I miss you? Shout out to Glowing Dog. Welcome to the party. Very good to see you dabbing. As always, welcome.
Again, and go out back and play catch and things like that. Taught me how to fish. But is he, the person who on a day-to-day basis, what happened at school? Are you okay? And your friend got in a fight with you? Oh my gosh, that must have felt. That was my mom. That was all my mom. And that was okay. That was their respective roles. So a lot of the former bench, that's how they viewed society. That's how they viewed, again, they're humans. These are like, judges are just people. Like there's a school of thought that says, what do you call a lawyer with a 50 IQ? Your Honor.
Wait, I mean, that was a good one. That was a good one.
Judges are just people. Like there's a school of thought that says, what do you call a lawyer with a 50 IQ? Your Honor.
That's a good one. See, sometimes he didn't have to. My grandpa gave my dad a bullwhip to scare the shit out of us. That would, that. And so going back to the experiences that I do have, dog training, we have timeout. I teach my clients to use timeout if necessary. And so it's not timeout like you would necessarily use for a child, where it's like, okay, you did this bad thing, so now you have to pay the price and go in timeout. But it's more of like, just a chill out zone. And it's like, hey, whatever you're doing right now is not appropriate for, hanging out with the family. And it's not just the notion of removing the dog so that it chills out, but you, in a very specific tone of voice, you give a timeout warning. Like, do you want to go in timeout? And then the dog doesn't know what the fuck that means. They're still going. And then, all right, we're going in timeout. And then the dog understands the warning. You don't need a timeout, because just like the bullwhip, all you got to do is use those words. Do you want to go in timeout? Same thing as waving them around. And they know. Again, shout out to Animal Behavior College. Animal Behavior College. Wacha. I am the positive only people. No, so the company is positive only. And for most dogs, there's really no reason to use any type of aversive tools besides a prong collar. So like dogs have a very different anatomy than we do. So they've got a lot of muscle around their neck. And so it's still uncomfortable. Like, this, let's say my shirt is the collar. And like, when we're use this hand. When we're walking, it's like up there and it's like, like, yeah, it's uncomfortable for them, but it's not the same thing as like us being choked. And if they don't have another frame of reference, they're just like, all right, I love being outside. I don't know really what's good with the neck thing. That part kind of sucks, but I love being outside. And so for most dogs, again, you don't even need the prong collar because you just get a front clip harness. Now, again, if you're just using a regular collar, then they're going to pull right through that. But there will be on the neck some discomfort. If you use a regular harness and clip it in the back, well, now the dog's like, oh, thank you. This is much better. I can pull much easier. It's not like you use all their chest muscles and all that stuff. But if you buy one that clips on the chest, then what happens is as they're walking, when you make a correction on the leash, they can't just like muscle through it because it's in between their legs and it's on the front. So their momentum, it breaks their gait. And so they have to, they have to address that. They can't just ignore it. So most dogs, that's enough that it's like, it's just annoying. It's not meant to be hurtful. It's just meant to be annoying. It's just like pop, pop, pop. Like, why the fuck are you doing that? It's like, oh, every time there's tension on the leash, I get the pop. So maybe I should just stay closer. Most dogs, that's all you need. Some dogs, you definitely they're just whether if they're too big, like if they get to a certain size where you just don't have the leverage to make a strong pop correction. That's really the only type of aversive stuff that I really use, unless you count like little things. Like when so a perfect example, when dogs are like if they're humping everything. Well, this is where you would use the timeout, but it is technically aversive if you just have like a can, just an aluminum can. This is what Morty gets if we hit the tree. If we hit the goal, guys. But you just put some coins and you just shake it, and it's meant to kind of startle them. And so when they're humping, you just shake it, and they're like, "What the fuck is that?" And then dogs are really good at pattern recognition. And so if every time and humping is it's not a sexual thing. They just do it out of excitement. But they'll learn that when they get excited, they get too excited. Now they start humping and they don't like that. Good ears on them dogs. But yeah, so then between that and talking about the timeout, then the patterns, the dog understands. Oh, okay. If I do this, then I'm going to be over there. So just do other stuff that doesn't land me in timeout. If you count shaking the can as aversive, then I guess I'm not positive only. But other than that, especially puppies, like if you have a problem dog where it's like a 6-year-old dog, big dog, been reactive for years, and you let it sit, like then that's a different story. We'll still try to use positive training there, but depending on the personality, the size of the dog, the size of the client, that may or may not work. Positive. I find it better just in terms of, especially like a lot of my clients just have like golden doodles. You don't need a shock collar for that. Like, yeah, it's going to take some extra work, but that's the bonding. That's why the dog will then listen to you for the rest of your life, because you took the time instead of just shocking the shit out of them. No names. I once saw 2 dogs having a pooping race across a floor. It was 2 friends' dogs at a party. They shat from the hallway into the kitchen, racing. I believe it. All right, let's dive back in here.
What do you call a lawyer with a 50 IQ? Your Honor. Because I make per year about 30 times what a judge makes. So if I'm an intelligent lawyer,
Jesus,
unless I'm incredibly deeply committed to the furtherance of justice, which not that many people are that deeply committed to that they would give up a 30x pay increase. You're not getting the best and brightest people in the world on the bench. No offense to the judges I appear in front of. I'm sorry, guys. But the truth is, you're not getting the best and brightest. You're getting people that, kind of want to move the meat through the machine. They want a 9-to-5 job. They want guaranteed health care. They want all the things that come with being a judge. So I think it is very easy.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Most people want to be friends with their dog. I think this is again, I'm not a parent, but I do see this type of thing in parenting as well, that it's not that you can't have a good relationship with your dog, but exactly as I was saying, you need to establish that you're the leader first, and then, well, you're a cool leader, so we can be buddy-ish, but I'm still the guy. Same kind of thing. I don't know. I've never really been in a corporate environment, but I've worked in corporate restaurants, and it's the same kind of thing with managers, where it's like, okay, that the manager is the manager, but that doesn't mean that they have to be, a dick. And it's like, oh, this is the cool manager.
All the things that come with being a judge. So I think it is very easy to think that the way it was 30 years ago is the way it is. I don't think that's the case anymore. But there are certain basic realities, like if early on in a child's life, a child spends a tremendous amount of time with mom is going to be very resistant to dad having a big role in the case parties divorce.
This is a good point, David, saying each kid responds differently to discipline. First kid needed physical discipline, but not much. The second kid, you could just act disappointed and reduce him to tears. Third kid is the most stubborn and has to be spanked and taken away. I'm a third kid too. I'm a middle child, baby. I'm that middle child, and middle child syndrome is fucking real. But this is a good point in because even though I don't have kids, I am not really an advocate for corporal punishment. I think that that should be like a last resort. Like, yeah, if your kid is 15 and going out, or let's say 13 and going out and fucking causing crimes, he maybe needs a little fucking slap. But that should not be the first thing that you do. The any type of physical punishment should not come from I'm so angry in this moment that I'm going to take it out. I mean, Gen X is really the last, as kids, being a Gen X kid, that was really the last generation where you should be getting beat. It's like, all right, boomers didn't fucking know any better. That's how they fucking live. But we know now. If your child is old enough to understand the reason that you're beating the shit out of them, then reason with them. And if they're not, then they won't understand why they're beating the shit out of them. They'll just be scared. Shout out to Marilyn. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the party. Got herself. Very good to see ya. Notice that I taught my son discipline through jujitsu. Discipline can be taught before trouble arises. Bingo. That is the hack. That is the hack. Yeah, I would agree with that. I would agree with that. The point being, though, like when they are young, it should be a matter of like, okay, let's try to go through, as you said, the different levels, and then if we have to get to physical punishment, then we get there. But that, I agree with you. That has to be established when they're young. Point being, that's not the starting point, or it shouldn't be the starting point. Hey, where's Guam Tech? We got another purple belt in the building. Dilly. Ah, so you're a middle child too. You're a third child and a middle child. Older brother and I were the first. Sister came after. Yep. My brother is 6 years older. My sister is about 4 years younger. So they have, I think so, right? Did he get his? I don't think he got his brown belt. No, right? I mean, he's probably listening. Whenever you get a chance, Guam, let us know. You just say yes, purple, if that's what it is. I'm pretty sure you were purple belt. And Glow in Dark said, I challenge you to a kumite. Marilyn said, kids prefer good. If your kid is an a-hole, then you're probably an a-hole. I don't think it's that simple, but there's definitely some correlation. You're more likely to have a shitty kid if you're a shitty person. But I think some nice people have some shitty kids. I don't know.
Distant to dad having a big role in the case party's divorce. Mm-hmm. By the way, a lot of divorcing men don't spend a lot of time at home before they're getting divorced. Why? Because they're unhappy. So they don't go home. They just stay at work later, or they go out to the bar after work and they don't go home. So they don't end up spending much time with the kids, but it's not that they don't love their kids. It's that they just don't want to be with this person they're unhappy with and that's unhappy with them. They don't want
this fucking bitch.
Their children to be exposed to like the passive aggressive relationship between mom and dad. So they stay out of the house longer. And what happens when they get divorced, it gets weaponized against them. Well, he was never home. He never helped the kids with the homework. And the guy says, well, wait, give me a chance. Like, I didn't go home. I didn't want to go home. It was tense at home. We didn't really like each other very much. But now we're getting divorced. And I don't just want to be the fun parent. I want to do the heavy lifting. I want 50% of the time. I want to do the fun part. And I also want to do the part where I, make sure the homework gets done and that they eat their broccoli and brush their teeth.
That makes a lot of sense. I think if I was a woman who was angry at an ex-husband or something, I think hearing that would be very important. Because it makes sense. It does make sense from the female mind to be like, oh, you never did this shit while we were together, but all of a sudden you care. And I could see how that could be a perspective. And I think hearing that, things have changed. That matters. Shout out to Tree Rogie. Welcome. Said I had a blind bully 40 years ago in my school, and my parents bought me corduroy pants so the blind bully could be me. What? Oh, so the blind bully can be what? I'm gonna need more context here. What does corduroy specifically have to do with the bully? And how the fuck did he know it was corduroy if he's blind? Is he feeling you up? What the fuck is going on? Well, said parents can be fake nice, and the kids will still see how they neglect themselves or others. Perception is a hell of a drug. Bingo. Absolutely. It is crazy how much kids will be able to pick up on their environment. And I think a lot of people they underestimate how much the kid who's in the next room, maybe not even sitting there watching, when the kid's a little baby, if you're fighting or, you're cursing or whatever it is, then, they're not going to understand. But very quickly, kids don't see mom and dad fight, they'll have weak trash talk. Well, that's what bullies are for. Where are we at? Stroke? What? Physical punishment is a smacked hand trying to reach for a hot stove or something dangerous. The biggest threat is consistency. If you say the kid is going to get punished for an act, you have to. I think I would argue, again, don't have kids, so don't fucking come for me. I would argue that a lower punishment on a more consistent basis would be more effective than a higher punishment that's inconsistent. Right? Oh, shit. It's going down.
Also want to do the part where I, make sure the homework gets done and that they eat their broccoli and brush their teeth. And I understand when women go.
We had just a different material that was just swishy pants. Like they started with the Janko jeans, and then if you were a rave kid, like we gotta pull this up. Rave pant. Why are we capped? But yeah, look. I mean, you want to talk about clothes you can hear. Swish, swish. I mean, these are all jeans, but some of these. But yeah, swish, 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 swish. These were all the rage. All right, let's dive back in.
The homework gets done and that they eat their broccoli and brush their teeth. And I understand when women go, well, he's never done that before. Right, but when would he have had opportunity to do it before? So again, it's a complex thing. And anytime someone says the system is rigged, that's such an easy way to claim defeat rather than fight any kind of a battle.
I like that, because this is a similar thing to when we talk about libertarians and how, everything is fucked, so it doesn't even matter. It's like that. I mean, take it away from marriage and apply that to politics. Why is it better in dating, but why is it work in politics but not in dating? Hey, shout out to Sam. No question, no comment. Where the fuck? Oh, he's like, fuck you guys, I'm going to sleep. Money Mart, that's for you. Yeah. Eat it, dummy. There you go. That's for you. Thank you, Sam. Very, very much, sir. Much appreciated. Gang. And guys, I want to see likes on those super chats. If you're just tuning in for free, that's totally fine. But other people are paying to keep this running. So at least hit the like on the super chats, please. Yup. That whole thing, yup. There's a bigger meaning to. I mean, I hope I blow up that fast, but I don't think he's being wrong. I don't think he's going to be around that long. But we will see. We will see. So you are on, because we have two different streams. So the people on the landscape stream will show up on a landscape, and I think Jason was on vertical, right? So you'll only see the one that you can. I'm looking for a way to see if we could merge all the chats into one place, but I don't know how to do that. So if you know, let me know. Otherwise, we'll be working on it. All right. Shout out again to our boy Sam. Let's dive back in.
Easy way to claim defeat rather than fight any kind of a battle. Is just go, it's just the game's rigged, so I'm not even going to.
Oh, and a new co-sponsor of the stream. Very much appreciated.
Yeah. And James, I'm curious what happens when people come in and sit down with you. What percentage, broadly speaking, would you say of people who are, I mean, it sounds like the way you've presented it is kind of the vast majority of people get married with good intentions of staying together.
Sure.
And then it doesn't work out because they probably didn't do the things that they did initially to make it work, right? So there's none of this like planning and manipulation or whatever. But by the time they get to a divorce, are people in a different place now and they're kind of like, F you, or I'm going to make you pay for the XYZ?
Sometimes, yeah.
XYZ.
I mean, I would say I get a number of varieties. So I get what I would call the tire kickers, which are the people who come in and say, I'm not ready to do anything yet, but I can smell that things aren't going right. And I'd like to just know what my rights and obligations potentially are. I love those.
I did have it. I knew it. I knew it. Dilly dilly to the purple belts. We got to get it. I'll fucking figure out a way to film it. I don't know. Are you guys the same weight class? But I mean, hey, it's BJJ. It's not supposed to matter, right? It's not supposed to matter. So we'll see.
People. I prefer those people. I think it's really good for a person to come in when they're having some problems and they say, you know, I want to understand, like, what will it look like if this goes in that direction?
Why do you love them?
Because I think they're being proactive. And I think they're asking a question they probably should have asked before they got married, which is what legally is going to happen when I sign a marriage contract and what effect does it have on my rights and obligations? And most people have absolutely no idea what they did legally when they got married. It's the most legally significant thing you're going to do other than dying. And you didn't even get a pamphlet. You didn't get anything that explained to you what it was legally, that you opted out of the title system. Like, that's amazing. Like, if you buy your wife a Rolex watch, you bought yourself one half of a Rolex watch. Like, you're one person.
One half. Guys, no one's saying we need a Discord. I agree, which is why we already have one. It is absolutely free to join if you are on the landscape stream. It is the pinned link, but I also just dropped it on the vertical chat. It is absolutely free to join. We have our free chat where anybody can talk all the time, but if you are a channel member here on YouTube, that will open up the full server, including the disciple chat. We've got the after party in our voice channel. We got movie nights, all that kind of stuff, but it is absolutely free to join. And if you don't want to pay for all that stuff, just hang out in the server, be active, and there's a point system and a level system. You don't need to worry about it. But the more you interact, the more points you get, the higher level you get. You hit level 15 and you get full access without paying a dime. Because what I really, really care about is A, keeping the trolls out, but 2, making sure we build this fucking community. Come on through.
The law. But no one ever explains that to you. We're just talking about what cake you're going to have. So I think that it's valuable for someone to come in and say, I'm thinking about this direction, or I'm afraid.
Nice, bro. Fucking dilly. Congratulations, bro. I might have to come take some classes.
Okay. I'm thinking about this direction, or I'm afraid my spouse is thinking that we're heading in this direction. What could it look like? And then they can make informed decisions about how hard they want to steer out or into that, right?
Because hopefully one of those possibilities is to work harder on the relationship.
100%. And nothing I would ever say to someone in that setting would ever be to hasten the demise of their marriage.
I mean, hey, it's a free speech platform, so you can put whatever you want. If you check the server guidelines, we've had to update some the rules, but essentially, there's no single word, there's no phrase that you can say that it will be like, you're banned. Now, I mean, you can get banned for fucking shit up, which I let people do for too long, and now I'm not going to let people do anymore. And we're kind of in a rebuilding phase because I let my ego of being a free speech platform, I let that go to my head. And I didn't fully understand that if I let the trolls just kind of run it, then everybody else will just they won't combat it. They'll just stop talking. And so we banned the trolls, but it's still free speech platform. So you can't spam. And if there's issues, then we'll figure it out. But absolutely free speech. Come on through.
It would always be, you're here for information, and I want to share that information with you. I want you to understand your potential rights and obligations, what paths you might take, whether you go to a mediator, an arbitrator, or go through litigation. And I'm also going to use that as an opportunity to say, look, are you in individual counseling of some kind where you can sort of process these things? Are you?
No, I don't know, because you keep saying it, but like I said, pics or it didn't happen.
and your spouse, have you ever tried speaking to someone together? Have you ever thought about talking together with a counselor or a clergyman or someone who might be able to help you navigate the challenges that you're having? It's totally okay to have challenges in a
Fuck is real.
relationship. People have challenges all the time in relationships. I even have people who come in and say, that's it, I want a divorce. I caught him cheating. I intercepted a text message came up on my iPad that was supposed to go to his iPhone because we had the same iMessage logged in. I mean, I owe Steve Jobs a tremendous debt of gratitude. The integration of Apple devices has created more people finding out about their spouse's affairs than anything else in the world.
And we come fucking full circle. Half of that is, well, you can see that I was left on red. You can see when I'm typing. You can see when I'm not. Oh my God. Some of you are on YouTube on an iPhone thinking that is the best social media platform that you have. Meanwhile, some of us are on TikTok with Androids, knowing that you're just living in a little box and you think you're better, but you're not. Hey, shout out to Guam Tech with the $2. Thank you, sir. Yes, we are just past the 2-hour mark. So if you would like to keep the party raging, be like Guam Tech and get Morty his treats. Thank you so very, very much. What is this? There we go. And the party rages on. Android till I die. Yeah, see, this is where because I'm definitely America first. I'm definitely not America only. Definitely not. Yeah, you guys know what's good.
Devices has created more people finding out about their spouse's affairs than anything else in the world. But they come in and they say, look, I want a divorce. I just found this out. And if I immediately said, great, I'll file it right now, I would be, I think, doing a very irresponsible thing. What I often say is, okay, if we want to file for divorce, we can file today, we can file tomorrow, we can file next week. I'm not retiring, don't worry. But let's just take a breath. Let's talk about what your paths might be, rights and obligations, and then let's see, because there are lots and lots of people. They don't talk about it very often. There's lots of people that have issues of infidelity that happen in a marriage, and they make it through it. They move through it. They figure out a way. They forgive. They forget. Sometimes they forget.
Yeah, man. Shout out to Kevin Samuels, who's like, your granddaddy had, this, that, the other. There was rules. Don't embarrass me. Don't bring home any diseases. Don't get anybody pregnant. You didn't talk about it. That would be the embarrassing part. But that was what people did.
Giving is in the forgetting. Sometimes they forgive, but they don't forget, but they try to make some changes, and so it doesn't happen again. So I try to give them a very honest assessment of things. So that's one type of person who comes in.
I almost just sat on my
and again, sometimes it's just, hey, things aren't great. I see some storm clouds coming. I want to know my rights and obligations. Sometimes it's the storm is here.
Did something happen?
I caught them cheating, or I'm cheating and I just got caught. Okay, that's a little more serious. But again, doesn't necessarily mean it's over, but it's good that it's fragile. We can agree it's fragile. So let's talk about what your rights and obligations might be. Sometimes people come in, they've been served with papers. Their spouse is moving forward with a divorce.
Hillary Clinton, right? You're talking about Hillary Clinton. Yikes.
Okay, let's talk about, you've been served with papers. Here's what you have to do legally to defend on that. And here's the paths that we might take from here. So it's very rare that someone comes in and it's like a professional hit. Like they're like, I've been planning this for 6 months. Here's the bank statements. Here's that. Every once in a while, someone does come in and they're very organized to the point where it begs the question, like, wow, how long? I mean,
are there more women or men?
More women.
Yeah, of course. Women do this.
I mean, what is she looking like in these? I know I'm not going to be like, oh, well, she looks good. What exactly are we? Let's. A day ago. Of course, tiny fucking picture. You should be.
Haram! That's why I said women are more tactical in their thinking, and they're more patient in some ways. I mean, their prefrontal cortex develops way before ours does, so it could be a function of that. But yeah, I mean, I've had women, I had a woman come in last week who, her husband has been cheating for about 8 months.
Apparently.
And she has had full access to his messages and texts and emails for that entire time. And she's just been tracking it in real time.
Oh.
And she's just like, every lie, she's tracking it. And she gave me this whole timeline. And I'm just looking at it, and I had two thoughts. One was, this guy has
get a burner. If you're gonna cheat, get a fucking burner. What?
No idea He has no idea that he's completely exposed. 2, other people's infidelity is hilarious. Like, there's just nothing funnier than reading someone's messages to them, because we all think we're so interesting and sexy and fascinating, but it's just completely goofy. All the like, oh, baby, I miss you so bad. Like when you're like, I'll tell you this, we have like dramatic readings of it sometimes at lunchtime in my office, like in the conference room, we'll all get together and we'll like, we'll have one of the
Like, yo, look what this dude just said to this chick, bro.
female staff members will read the female part and one of them will read the male part and be like, baby, when I was inside you last night, it was the greatest feeling ever. Like, and we're just reading it out loud going, do these people have any idea? But ultimately, what I thought was scarier is that she has managed to just continue to act like nothing's wrong for 6 months with this guy.
I couldn't do that.
I was
going to say, men are not doing that. Like, maybe for a week while you're planning something, but oh, man.
I couldn't do it for a day.
No, I'd be like,
6 months. Yeah. Like, and I mean, explicit stuff, which, by the way, I will tell you as a divorce lawyer, you
I'm going to take you behind the scenes. I'm going to
end up having to see a lot of naked pictures of people, and it's never people you'd want to see naked pictures of. But it's like being in a nude beach. It's never.
I kind of like just looking at any kind of titties, so I don't really care if you're a try. I just like titties.
For people there that you'd want to see naked. But
James, this is a question I really wanted to ask, because I don't think we talk about divorce. Do people regret divorce? Do people look back? Have you ever seen that where people go, you know what? He was the love of my life. And
yeah,
it was a heat of the moment. I said what I said. We did what we did. But
maybe 30 fucking years ago.
Actually, we kind of threw it away.
I think what you're describing is people regretting the demise of a relationship. I think divorce is burying something that's dead most of the time. And it's not, man, I regret that we buried that. It's, I regret that it died.
Or I regret that it ever became a thing. Or maybe not. I don't know. Especially if the kids are there. I don't know.
People, I don't make it rain. I sell umbrellas. I think that there are a lot of people that say, we could have done better. We could have done different. I'm a divorced man myself. I've been divorced for 20 years from the mother.
Ooh, HR getting serious. I bear the shame of my indiscretions. It makes for a bed of nails. Yikes. You need Jesus.
They're my kids, and a very friendly divorce. She's a lovely, lovely human being. One of my favorite human beings in the world. She's been remarried for 15 years. Our oldest son just got married a couple of months ago, and we had a wonderful time, all of us at the wedding.
But I mean, oops. That's why, at the end of the day, I am definitely a tit man at the end of the day. I've talked about how I can't do no ass. I can do, if you have, a little something, that can work. But if you're like stacked and then on the back you're flat, that just ain't gonna work for me. And the other aspect to that is, if I'm going to a nude beach, I'm thinking about this as I'm saying it. But like, I do not feel like seeing just like a naked butt is as fun as just looking at some titties. I mean, like, I'm not. Nobody's saying that we're operating off the premise that they're already not attractive. But I'm saying, if you're walking down the street and some National Geographic looking chick has her tits out, are you not gonna look? Exactly.
Her family, my family, all of us together. And I have to say, like, there are many times where she and I, even though she's very happily married, will say, like, man, we really screwed that up. We screwed it up. If sheer power of will could make two people love each other forever, we probably would have. But we just got a lot of things wrong. And then sometimes you're so far from center that...
not to get too vulgar, but of the three zones, the three no-no zones, ass is at the bottom of the list. I love a nice, pretty view from down there. Some chicks have the fucking the burger buns where you just don't see anything, and then the other side is the roast beef. If we're talking, if that's the spectrum, where you're over here. Wait, where are you? How many people are on vertical? So, okay, if we're over here and you got the hamburger buns, and then over here you just got a super roast beef. I'm going to lean towards the roast beef over the hamburger buns. Sorry. I like what vaginas look like. That's what I'm saying, bro. I mean, like, it could get a little much where it's like, but if it's just, it literally looks like that. What is that? That ain't nothing.
You just kind of go,
anyway,
it was the right thing to do. And I think our divorce was the right thing to do. I think that her
exactly
very happy marriage, is proof of that. I think our sons are
pics or it didn't happen. There's fucking pick me bullshit. No, I promise, guys, I have big titties. Do you though?
very well-adjusted, happy young men who had a great, relationship with both of their parents. And she and I have had a great co-parenting relationship.
Especially after 30. Gravity does its thing.
And who had a great, relationship with both of their parents. And she and I have had a great co-parenting relationship. We both moved on to have really fulfilling relationships.
Is she okay with you putting that on the internet, brother?
But is there something very sad about it that it's like, oh, we probably could have done better? Yeah, of course.
Wait. Are you saying like if there, am I interpreting this as if there is roast beef, no thanks, or if the roast beef hangs, specifically the hanging part? Because the latter I tend to agree with, but hey, I like what I like. Sorry, not sorry.
Is there something very sad about it that it's like, oh, we probably could have done better? Yeah, of course. But
yeah, when she's ugly,
we didn't know that at the
just
time,
a hole.
And I don't think anybody takes glee in the demise of a relationship. I think most people, when they marry, they have good intentions, but
just manifesting here. Fair enough. So the Soul said there's actually research that says boobs hang lower from wearing bras too much. I have heard of this due to less muscle use around the chest area. No idea if true. I'm not doing a study on it. That makes sense because there's no yeah, exactly. The muscles on the top side that would hold them up are never used. Those would atrophy and look like my arms, just not doing what they're supposed to be doing, just puny and little. And the muscles are just not there. Let's take a little side quest. Can you guys see this? Where are we? Boom, 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 boom. Yeah, right. And Dick's like, I'll hold him up. I said, shit, me too. All right. For research purposes, is it true that women wearing a bra most of the time can actually cause breasts to droop versus let's say a woman who goes more natural. Naturally. Bras are oppression. Always show the boobs. All right. I bet you are. This is what the pick-me say. I'm just like so beautiful, you wouldn't even be able to understand it. Is it true that women wearing a bra most of the time can actually cause breasts to droop versus a woman going more natural? Short answer, no. There's no solid evidence that wearing a bra most of the time causes breasts to droop. What actually causes breast sagging? Or what is this? Psoas? Anyway. Is that like a word for sagging? I thought it was like more specific to boobs. Anyway, age, genetics, pregnancy, breast size, which again, going back to what I said, you got some nice solid B cups after 30, you're going to be all right. But you go a little bit bigger, then, smoking, interesting. Breasts don't have muscles in them. They're supported by skin and connective tissue, the Cooper's ligaments. Over time, those tissues stretch due to gravity and other factors. What about going braless? There was a small French study that studied women who didn't wear bras had a slightly firmer breast over time. There was a however, but I mean, dilly dilly for old boobs that are not sagging. I don't give a fuck. If you're making claims, you gotta back that shit up. All right. What is the however? So we said slightly firmer over time. However, it was not large scale. It wasn't randomized. It hasn't been strongly replicated. It mainly involved younger women. So it's not strong evidence to conclude that bras cause sagging. So the practical reality, wearing a bra does not weaken breast tissue in a proven way. Not wearing a bra does not guarantee perkier breasts long term. For larger breasts, a bra may actually reduce the stretching over time by limiting excess movement. Sagging is mostly about biology and time, not bra usage frequency. Wearing or not wearing a bra is largely a comfort and style choice rather than a structural determinant of grooming. Well, if it's up to me, just don't wear it while I'm looking. Indeed. Picks, or it didn't happen.
Things fall apart. The center cannot hold. It's the nature of things. And one of the things there's a line, one of my favorite poems is a poem by Joseph Brodsky. It's called A Song. He wrote it when his wife
We're going from tit measurement and bra effect to poetry.
Died. And the refrain of the poem is, I wish you were here, dear, I wish you were here. And one of the lines is, I wish you were here, dear, I wish you were here. I wish I knew no astronomy when the stars appear. Because I think that there's something very magical about the stars until you learn astrology and then astronomy. And then you're like, oh, it's actually a dead light that's hitting us now. I think that
we're all saggy titties on stolen land. Dilly fucking dilly. Yeah, I mean, I nobody asked HR what your tits look like or what. You were offering this information. You started offering this information. If you make a claim, you must back up that claim. Otherwise, I just won't believe you. I went to a working slaughterhouse when I was 12, and I don't what? I don't want to see you at 12? What? No. I mean, if you got some fucking nudes from when you're 18, go for it. But no.
It's actually a dead light that's hitting us now. I think that all of us, if we look back on our relationships that weren't successful, or even our relationships that are successful, we look at it and we go, I could have done better. There's almost nothing I've done in my life
Vagine.
that I don't look at and go, oh, I could have done better. The first 3 years of your child's
Very nice.
life, I bet there's some things that you go, I wish I'd been a little more patient.
Went to nothing. Oh no.
Or I wish I'd handled that differently. And
That's my heritage. That's my heritage, guys.
I think that's a sign of a mature human being to say,
Just to be clear, I was never a Bob's and Vagine person.
Differently. And I think that's a sign of a mature human being to say,
no, thank you. We do not want that. What we actually want is just verification of the claim that you have big boobs now. So anytime 18 to 63, that'll do. That'll do, pig. That'll do.
Oh, I could have done better. And I wish I had done better. But we did what we did. We made the choices that we made. I think that the hard thing to do, and therefore the right thing to do, is while you're in the relationship, constantly subject yourself to that vigilance, rather than later look back and go, what could I have done to keep this together? While you're in it, what can I do to keep this strong? What can I do to help this person feel loved and seen? What do I need from this? Because I think the most dangerous, I will tell you, in 25 years of practicing divorce law and seeing very candid versions of people, I think the most dangerous lies we tell are the ones we tell ourselves. I think we constantly lie to ourselves about what we need and what we want, and what will make us happy and what won't.
What I need and want is some titties. Let's go.
And I think that if we could be more honest with ourselves, it would be the starting point of being more honest with our partner.
It's a really, really interesting insight into human nature. And I suppose the question I wanted to ask is, do you think sometimes divorce is the easy option? And maybe also, do people then try to go for a divorce and they discover it actually isn't that easy at all? It might.
Good question.
It might be the conclusion of their problems, but actually.
No male or underage boobs anywhere in my awareness. I don't want any man boobs or child boobs in anywhere around me. That is the type of shit that will get you banned from Discord. So don't do that. But I mean, hey, if you, I'm not gonna ban you for saying, hey, I'm a fucking creep. And you said you like 12-year-olds or something. I mean, yeah, I'm gonna make fun of you. I'm gonna call you nasty fucking piece of shit. But you're not gonna get banned. Free speech.
It's very painful and traumatic, and especially terrible for kids.
Yeah, I mean, I think you're always trading one set of problems for another. If you're unhappily married, you have one set of problems, but you don't have another. If you're divorced, you have one set of problems, but you don't have another. If you're single, one set of problems, not another. Married, one set, not another. So I think life's about picking the set of problems you're interested in having and then moving forward with that set of problems and trying to live your life within that set of problems, right? I think that sometimes the process of divorce is something that reminds people what they mean to each other. So I have seen a lot of divorces that start and then stop. And I don't find that surprising. I mean, I find when you're in the midst of death, or illness, you're the most acutely aware of the value of life and good health. I think, when you get over being sick, you find yourself going, oh, I'm going to take better care of myself. And then you forget.
And then you don't. You don't. I'm never going to drink again. And then you do. Hey, my goodness. Soil to soul with the Big Ten. Oh, yeah, you woke up for that shit, didn't you? Let's get Morty his treat. Thank you. So very, eat it, motherfucker. What do you think it is? It's the same shit you eat every goddamn day. What's the matter? Yeah, what are you doing? There you go. Shout out. I believe that makes you the new sponsor of the stream. It said Bob's and Vagine for the Overlord. Or maybe a treat. He'll get the treat. I like the Bubs and Vagine. Let's go. Let's fucking go. And of course, that means the party rages on. Thank you so very, very much. Again, guys, I want to see likes on that super chat, please.
When you get over being sick, you find yourself going, oh, I'm going to take better care of myself. And then you forget. And
Yeah.
then very promptly you go back to whatever, because that's human nature. But I do think that sometimes we have to come right up to the edge of losing something to see the value that it has in our life. Sometimes physically separating from someone is something that makes you feel their absence in a real way. So I think that's a piece of it. I do think that there are people that never recover from their divorce. I think that there are people who, the wound of it and the process of it, because divorce can be incredibly ugly. I mean, it's intimacy weaponized.
Ooh, intimacy weaponized. Everything you thought was safe that you were telling this person as your head's laying on the pillow. Now they're using that against you in court. Yikes. That was a wise observation. Are we talking about what the? Did you mean to do that? I'm gonna assume that Glomtech is driving and meant to hit the like button. We'll keep that up for a little bit. Where are we at? Are you heading out, brother? Thank you so very, very much. Where are we at? So yeah, David, let me know which one you were talking about. Bob's your uncle. Bob's and Regine. Oh well, Mars is in retrograde. That means that I don't even have a good astrology joke. I don't even have one. That's how fucking stupid it is. The party rages on.
I mean, it's intimacy weaponized. Like, if anybody knows your soft targets, it's your wife. Like,
we got you.
Personally, I think to love anything is insane. Like, it's insane. It's just not rational to love anything, because to love anything is to accept the inevitability of losing it. Like, you get a dog.
Oh, she's definitely a female. It's just whether or not she has the heavies that she claims to have.
Greatest thing in the world, having a dog. You're going to lose that dog. Like, that dog's going to die before you, most likely. They have a really short lifespan. Personally, I think it's worth having it. No,
he just accidentally deleted the super chat when he was trying to like it, and we hit the like button instead of the delete button.
But when you decide you're going to love that stupid dog, you have decided you are going to open yourself up to the inevitability of that pain.
Mm-hmm. Every single day, guys, the first words out of my mouth, every single day, the first words out of my mouth Hey, Bamba, we get to spend another day together. Last words at night. Or maybe not last words, if something comes up and I make a TikTok later. But last thing that I'm like, okay, before we go on, all right, the day is done. We've got I've got my kratom set up. I got my snacks. I've got my everything rolled up. I got all that ready to go. All we're done. We picked what we're watching on TV. We're laying down. Thank you for spending yet another day with me, Morty. Every single day. Every single day. Because one of these days I won't be able to say that. Yep. Sam Sabine wasn't an ugly divorce. It still had a serious effect on my future outlook on dating and relationships. It really does fuck you up if you're like me and let it. So what do you, Sam specifically, but anyone, what do you think is the idea behind why he'll go over the numbers, but the numbers of people who get divorced then get married, like, they're on their fifth marriage. Like, most people either don't get married or get married once, and then the next thing is you're married, I think, 3 times, and then maybe even 4 before 2 or something like that. What do you make of that? Because you're saying if you're like me and let it. So are you saying that was what you did and you let it get too deep? Or are you saying that's just kind of the basis? Only if you don't know what kratom is, don't fucking look it up. It do be like that. This is my way of staving off opioid withdrawal for the last 10 years. I'll deal with it eventually. All right. So said some things fuck us up even if we don't think we are letting it in. Ooh, bars and facts.
Stupid dog. You have decided you are going to open yourself up to the inevitability of that pain. So I think there's a tremendous amount of bravery involved in loving anyone or anything. Because to love anything is to say, okay, I'm going to accept the pain of losing this. Because you will lose your wife. You'll lose her to death or you'll lose her to divorce. I hope you lose her to death. What a bizarre thing, right?
I hope your wife dies. Yeah, and I mean, finally we got rid of our troll who decided it's funny that my grandma died a few weeks ago. But I was on the phone with my grandfather, and just having that weird discussion of, grandma's dead, checking in, don't really know what to say, hope it's whatever, and just talking about the fact that she had been in hospice care for a while, and they went to home hospice care. She was surrounded by family members in her own bed. I mean, if we could all be so fucking lucky. She lived to 95 years old. 95 years old. And got to pass away. I mean, crazy. Shall we all be that lucky? Oh, yeah, it's nasty. Did I bring it down? I didn't bring it down. I mix it with water. I used to mix it with water and either a bunch of sugar or half water, half Gatorade. But this was when I was coming off of the drugs, and so I still wasn't in a good money place. And I just couldn't afford that much sugar or that much Gatorade. So I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna get used to it. So now I just put 2 tablespoons of the kratom in a regular cup. Mix it together, put it into a Gatorade bottle, fill up the bottle with water, kratom, and water. It's nasty. That's why you will see anytime that if I have it down here from whatever, I'll drink it and then immediately go to water or something. This has a sweetness to it. An actual Gatorade bottle, nasty. But and yeah, so don't do kratom if you don't need to. Don't do kratom if you don't need to. The ability to be vulnerable and be graceful about it is a must for a lasting partnership. Trust has to be built for that to happen. That part isn't easy to start for sure. And I think, I mean, as somebody who was in a serious long-term relationship, as serious as you can be at 15, 16 years old, I feel like the beginning part has become exponentially harder. Exponentially harder. Because there's such a mentality of, are you the best thing for me or no? Just based off the most superficial shit. So that's why we hang back. We hang back, stack money, and the bitches will come crawling. Right? Am I right? Am I right?
In what world do you say, as a courtesy, I hope your marriage ends in death? But I do. I hope your marriage ends in death, because the other option is it ends in divorce. So I hope it ends in death. So there is something about saying, okay, I'm going to fully accept the risk of this.
That's the other way to do it, but I like to have a little bit more control. So knowing that I have 28 ounces of whatever, obviously the scoops are not the same, but I have an idea of like, okay, 3 gulps is what I need for this. That way I can minimize it, because I'm not really trying to wean off it, but I'm actively trying to not up my dose.
Okay, I'm going to fully accept the risk of this. And some of that risk is that if you let this person see authentically into who you are and what you're afraid of and what really hurts you and what your soft points are, they can weaponize that against you if they want to. Like, we all know, anyone who's in a relationship, even like the two of you are in a relationship with each other, I guarantee you each have a sentence in your head that you could say to the other one that would make them like go home that night crying. Like, anyone you're close with and know and care about, you know what they're insecure about, you know what they're afraid of, you know what they're ashamed of. So you have in your head, you got it in the chamber there. You got a thing that you go, if I ever heard, I would say this to that person. And by the way, you probably would never want to say it to that person, because when you love someone,
but you know it, you
wouldn't want to hurt them. Even if they hurt you, you wouldn't.
That's why I tend to be a little bit more of a forthcoming person. Like, there's definitely a time and place to kind of cater what you're saying for the situation, but especially for doing this. Like, if I'm going to call somebody out or somebody's going to call me out, we're going to have the conversation. Like, I'm not going to pussyfoot around what's going on, because that's just how I operate. Like the other day I was on a panel and someone was, causing trouble, didn't like what I had to say, and put the host in a really bad position of like, okay, well, he's just, anytime I talk, you're a piece of shit, you're a piece of shit, you're a piece of shit, you're a piece of shit. And so the host is like, all right, well, what do I do here? And like, I was trying to appeal to the guy who was just saying, oh, you're a piece of shit, you're a piece of shit, saying like, hey, you're putting the host in a bad position here. I'm a better draw than you. I'm more entertaining than you. He wants me here more than you. I am more likely to get him money, to get him subscribers than you are. Why did you have to make me say that? We all know it. But if the host says it, well, he's got more subscribers, or I like him better. Well, that's a shitty position to be in for the other person. And so I took the bullet. Yeah. And I was just like, because the dude was like, well, why are you, because I'm a bigger fucking shit. That's how this works, dude. Be more entertaining, get more subscribers, then you can talk shit to me, and the host will kick me. But we're not there. Elijah, shout out. Let's dive back in.
I want to hurt them like that. But I guarantee, the thing you could say to your wife, and your wife knows the thing that she could say to you that would reduce you to just absolute tears. That's the risk. But you have to take that risk if you're going to have a relationship. That's why I think to love something is brave. It's insane, but it's brave, because you're saying,
yes, you will get, whoever you are, you will get addicted. The withdrawals are not as bad as the opiates, but it's a longer timeline, which if I knew, I would have just taken the fucking withdrawal. Because when I was doing the pills, 3 days of feeling like shit. First day, it's kind of, you can get the tickle in your back and your bones kind of hurt, and, you can't regulate your temperature. Day 2, you're feeling like shit. But by day 3, you're still back to, or you're back to where you were, the way you were feeling on day 1. And day 4, you're good. Indeed you did. Indeed you did. But it was last night. So actually, did I stream that part? That might have been streamed, and if you know me, then you know where to look for it. What was I just saying? Oh, yeah. the withdrawal for kratom is not as severe, but it's like a week long. And it starts out very slow. So the initial parts of any kind of withdrawal is just the psychological aspect of, oh no, I don't have my thing, whatever the thing is. So that's the first part. And then you get the physical things. I've gone, I think, like a full day in the last 10 years, something like that. That's the longest I've gone. Restless legs, feeling sick. Again, just inability to regulate temperature. It is not fun. And it's definitely something that I'm going to have to deal with it eventually. But I'm kind of using Morty as a reason to just be like, all right, my life is what it is. I'm dealing with every single day. All I can think about is the fact that he's going to die soon. Let me deal with that, and then we'll deal with the rest of everything. Seems fair. Seems fair. And if it's not, then fuck you. I'm going to live my life.
That's why I think to love something is brave. It's insane, but it's brave because you're saying, I'm going to expose the possibility of being hurt by you. But because of that risk, divorce is brutal. It can be brutal because even the friendliest divorce is a shift of this fundamental relationship, this foundational relationship. And it feels like everything is on the line, like where you live, when you see your children, your basic finances, the person who you thought was your person and you were theirs, like all of that is falling apart. It's what drew me to being a divorce lawyer. I was a psychology major as an undergraduate, and
bro. Let me see if I can find it. There was a girl who did this. I can. How do I search my own tweets? God damn it! How do I search my own tweets? To go back to here. Here. There we go. Okay. Clone. Really? Shit, this is going to be a little bit harder, but all right, let's see. Is this it? Gang, let's go.
And I cloned my.
So, Glow in Dark. Oh, sorry, I didn't realize you can say Glow in Dark said clone Morty. No.
Hi, I'm Vanessa, and I cloned my dog. My cloned puppy Ollie has now been at home for 8 days, and it's been quite the experience learning how to have a puppy. I've never had a puppy before, but I am seeing some similarities between the puppy and between Ollie and Oliver, which is super interesting. I did not have Oliver as a puppy, so it's a little bit hard and tough to compare, but the way that they walk, which maybe sounds silly, but just really reminds me of Oliver. The way that they move, Ollie hops through the grass in the backyard like a little bunny, which is exactly what Oliver would do. Ollie.
But how much is it? All right, so I'm just gonna let it play.
He is starting to kind of try to sit up on his little hind legs. We used to call it sit pretty with Oliver, and so that is really reminding me of Oliver. It's super wild looking into his eyes because it's like, whoa, I know these eyes, but you're different. So that's an interesting experience. When I took him to the vet last week for the first time, the vet was like checking him, and she was like, "This is so wild. Like, I already know this body.
Freaking
like,
bone here.
Like, this is going to be here. This little anomaly is going to be there." And so it's just been a very interesting experience. We're in the trenches trying to survive puppyhood. If you have any tips or tricks on potty training or crate training, please let me know.
So, I mean, this is just her talking about her experience of her clone dog. And so if you're not exactly sure what is happening, she had a grown dog, and then that dog died, took that dog's DNA, and made a new puppy. So when that puppy grows, it's going to look and act very, 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 very similar to the original dog, but it's a different fucking dog. It's a different fucking dog. So every single time you look at your new dog, you are literally going to see your dead dog. What did I say about it? I said, definitely no. Well, I definitely know what we're not doing with the Morty Memorial Fund. Once again, thank you so very, very much to anybody who donated to the Morty Memorial Fund. Of course, the hat says Pacific Northwest. This is one of the most Portland things I've ever seen. This is my industry, and I did not know that regular-ass people are getting photocopies of their dog like it's going to be the same thing. Even if you cloned your child and they were reborn to you, we know with the damn strong probability, just shy of knowing, it will be a different person. Whether it's a person or a dog, their experiences are going to shape them. So unless you live the exact same life and have the exact same mentality as you did when you got the original dog / birth to the original child, it's gonna be different. It's gonna be different, but it's gonna look the same. And that will break your heart day after day after day after day. Don't clone your dog. That is not smart. Yeah, exactly. Futurama knows best. We're all puppies on we're all puppies on stolen land. Exactly, right. It's a different fucking dog. It's a different fucking dog. Since I'm glad you're focusing on Morty, man, that shows good character. My dogs are my life. They're the best, and they deserve the best. How happy they get when I come home is the coolest feeling. Unconditional love. Yeah, and again, I mean, I had a girlfriend when I got him, but I've essentially been single except for little things here or there. But it's just been me and him for the overwhelming majority of his life, the past 15 years. It's been just me and him. We're all clones on stolen land. This is a good rule of thumb. Pets are family and not to be cloned. Ooh, is that a hungry dance? Let's get a hungry dance, Morty. Come on. Let's go. Let's go. Oh. That was a little bit of a hungry dance. We'll see. All right, let's finish up this chapter and head to the after party.
It's what drew me to being a divorce lawyer. I was a psychology major as an undergraduate, and
I said, "Shit, me too." It's bullshit.
I wanted very much to maybe be a therapist, and
I said, "Shit, me too." What are we doing? What is he doing? What you doing, pal? What are you doing, pal? What you got going on over there? Are you trying to find something? Or are you trying to get comfortable? Oh, and he walks away. Just chilling. Just being Morty. Just being Morty. Get that for him. Let's beat the puppy!
Listen more than they talk, and that wasn't much. But I realized that, there is something incredible about the opportunity. Because a divorce, the barn is burned down and now I can see the moon, like everything's fallen apart.
This guy's got fucking bars. The barn has burned down and now I can see the moon. I don't even fully understand where you would use that, but that's a bar.
The opportunity. Because a divorce, the barn is burned down and now I can see the moon, like everything's fallen apart. And now what? And to be part of the architecture of a person's next chapter.
Like just pearly things?
To me, even after 25 years, it's still the most humbling, amazing, beautiful thing to be part of, to help be part of the architecture of someone rebuilding a life when it feels like everything is lost, everything's at risk.
I mean, your point about loving is so true because, children are the best example of this.
Yeah.
Because you bring a child into the world who you love more than anything that you've ever loved. But obviously, I remember speaking to a very good friend of mine after having a child and said, I've got some fears now that I didn't know were possible.
Oh yeah. And not even that, your heart is walking around.
Right. Exactly.
It's just walking around and everything is putting it at risk.
Right.
And you can handle it yourself. I can handle my pain. But my kids' pain?
Yeah, we were at a dog park. I don't really like dog parks because they're very unpredictable. If you're going to use dog parks, I suggest to. Oh, there he is. If you're going to use dog parks, I suggest to kind of scope out the area. Wait until you see that there's responsible dogs and dog owners there, and then kind of make a group and like, okay, we're gonna go to the dog park on Wednesdays, or we're gonna start a group chat and make sure we know when to go, so that you're not really blindsided. And if you are blindsided, some random irresponsible untrained dog comes in, then you as a block can yell, be like, yo, we got some shit going on over here and you're fucking shit up. That being said, Barbados and coconuts, Morty did get laid one time at a dog park. So, hey, I mean, he has no balls, but he did get laid.
Like
Actually, I think he might have had his balls at that point. Either way, no virgins in this house. Let's go.
My pain, like, but my kids' pain, like, oh, like the terror that comes with it. But it also creates these opportunities to, like, you know.
Someone try to explain to me what he's saying about the specifically my kids' pain, like, oh, the terror. Do your obviously it's not something that I expect you to be able to articulate well, but do your best and try to explain what that feel like, that moment where you were like, oh fuck, I love this kid so much, and eventually something is gonna happen, and that sucks. What does that feel like?
Terror that comes with it, but it also creates these opportunities to, like.
Well, even though, so Dick, I mean, if you're, I think people are generally not like, I don't think that would generally be weird. I think if you, if you hang out and you talk to don't just go in and fucking deal with dogs. The other thing though is that the dog parks is really for dogs to hang out with each other. It's not really a place where you would go, but hit up a shelter. Just Google a dog shelter near me. And they are desperate for people to come in and, just spend time, play with the dogs, all that kind of stuff. And it's not weird at all. I highly doubt they would pay you, but, it's free and not weird.
The terror that comes with it, but it also creates these opportunities to, like, I mean, again, like I remember, my sons are adults now, but I remember my now 28-year-old, he's a lawyer too. When he was like 5, maybe, he had terrible pneumonia and he was so sick. He had 103 or 104 fever.
Well, hey, hit up Animal Behavior College and become a trainer. It's a really good way to, like, I have no plans to get another dog anytime soon, unless I'm married and, like, looking to have children. That's when, and I mean, of course, I might change my mind once I have an empty home. But I don't, like, number one, being very familiar with the puppy stage, it's very easy to forget how hard that stage is. How much time and effort and energy and emotion goes into training a dog. It's a lot. But the other thing is that after he passes, I'm still going to have the opportunity to, hang out with dogs on a regular basis. So I don't feel like I'll need, like, he's already, he came around long before I was a dog trainer. He's the reason I am a dog trainer. But, like, yeah, that'll scratch that itch. So Animal Behavior College, it's a couple $1,000. It takes, like, depending on how much time you spend on it, it took me like 6 months. And then there's like a 1 or 2 month internship type thing. But by this time next year, you could be a professional dog trainer.
We kept calling the pediatrician and they kept saying, okay, if it goes up to 105, you got to get him to the hospital. And he was laying in my lap. And I was the most scared I've ever been in my life. Like, I had never felt terror like that. And I was 22 when he was born, so I was probably like 27, 28. And he was sweating and cold.
Nobody's gonna give it a shot. Try to articulate what the fear. The first time you understood the fear that this thing that you love so much is going to get hurt at some point in some way. Oh, Swell the Soul said it hits you in your gut. Like the feeling you get when you watch a video and someone gets hurt doing parkour or something, but much more personal and deeper. It's a poor comparison. Yeah, I don't, like I said, I don't expect you guys to be able to articulate it. I don't really think it's necessarily articulable. Is that the word, able to be articulated. But I'm just curious how much you guys say. HR Big Booth said Uncle took him to Baja and left. What? We hunted him down and found him hit by a truck. Oh, he's good now though? Or he was good from that, or did he die from that? Was he good after that?
When he was born, so I was probably like 27, 28. And he was sweating and cold and like kind of like so feverish that he was out of it. And he kept sort of kind of going in and out of consciousness. And I remember having this big, ridiculous smile on my face and going, it's okay, buddy, you're okay. You're okay. Don't worry. Don't be scared. It's okay. It's okay. And inside, I was screaming. I was just screaming inside. Like, I can't handle this.
Okay. Tell me, parents, tell me how close this is. I'm not saying it's the same. I'm saying this is the best approximation to what I have. It must have been like the first, maybe even the first week, but like the first month that I had Morty. And in case you haven't seen what he used to look like, he was, this is what he looked like when I got him. So he had that little, on his chest, that little white thing, and a tiny little white in his chin there, but jet black the rest of his body. And now you can see he's all gray and everything. What the fuck was I talking about? Oh yeah, so the first month that I had him, I was bringing him everywhere with me, and so I just stopped at like a Walgreens or whatever for convenience store or something like that, and I left him in the car. I was just running in to get like some candy or some fucking munchies or whatever, and I came back out. I will forever hate myself for this. He was on the seat, on the driver's seat, and had his paws up on the armrest of the door. And for whatever reason, I felt like I would be able to communicate, hey, I don't want you to stand up here, if I just took the door and kind of gave it a little jerk. Just jerked a little bit, and he would step down. I went too hard and too fast. And he, like, if this is the door, his paws were up on the door, and I pulled it, and he just fell straight out of the car, and on his chin, he hit his chin straight on the asphalt, and just starts yelping. Like, I wasn't trained then. I'd never heard a dog make that sound. And so, of course, there's other people in the parking lot. I'm like, oh my God. But I felt so bad because I just didn't have any way to express anything. And like, I've asked ChatGPT if, is it possible for dogs to understand apologies? And like, kind of, but not really. They do have an understanding of that relationship, but that was 15 years ago. I will never forget that. Never, ever, ever. Sam said it destroys you. I tear up whenever I think about my Rango dying. He's 14 years old. I know it's coming, and I don't know if I'll be ready. Well, I can definitely tell you that trying to, for me at least, trying to pretend that, like, because he's all sprightly and jumping around and stuff like that, we're good. That's not a good road for me. For me, the best thing is to keep that at the forefront of my mind. This motherfucker's going to die real soon. This motherfucker, every single day. That's why I say that. We get one more day together. That's all I know. That's all I know. We get one more day together. And by keeping it at the front of my mind, it feels a little bit masochistic, but at the same time, the don't know if I'll be ready for it. I'm prepping now. I'm prepping now and have been for the last fucking year. So it's just been a black cloud hanging over my head. Your dog's gonna die and you don't know when. It could be soon. It could be a month. It could be a year. I don't know, man. I don't know. A little baby. Like I said, most handling a toddler now is getting her to understand that a lot of what she's doing could hurt her. The best we can do is raise them to manage their own pain well enough to grow for it. Yep. Shout out to Jake Go Texas. Welcome. Said seeing your child really sick, like might die sick, is a feeling of impending doom. It's like watching a car crash in slow motion, praying it will be okay when it's all over. You feel helpless. Yikes. I don't even. I have no frame of reference for that. For better or for worse. For better and for worse. I don't know. Wait, so he did pass. All right, well, let's. Rango. forever in our hearts. So the soul said to Guamtech, well said, tell her to make it a reality. My youngest is autistic, and the game of Can You Keep Me Alive Today lasted until he was almost 8. He had no sense of self-preservation until then. Yikes. Oof. Oh, brother. I'm so sorry, man. I'm so sorry. There's not really much else to say, right? I mean, hugs all around. So let's see if we can end this on a little bit of a higher note. Although this seems to be getting a little bit more emotional as well. But hey, we gotta try. I don't call it a party for nothing. And if you've never been at a party where you've been doing blow and having conversations like this, then you haven't partied.
Not ready for this. I'm not qualified. Like, I want my fucking mom. Like,
He's about to cry.
I don't know what's, like, this is bad. Like, I don't know what to do. Like, I'm terrified he's going to die. Oh my God, is he going to die? But I was like, okay, no, you don't get to do that. Like, you need to be, it's okay. And now it's what, 20 something years later, he survived. He's fine. I can still feel that feeling. That's the terror that comes with real love. Like, that's the terror that only loving something more than you've ever loved yourself. Like, to me, it's worth it. To me, it's the greatest thing, because the love and the pride and the joy, like that same 7-year-old, I sat with 100 people when he got married a couple of months ago and watched a beautiful young woman who he went to law school with stand there and in front of all these people say these vows, and they wrote their own vows. And she was like, you're the strongest man I know. You're the bravest man. You make me feel so safe. And I was weeping.
Bro, the last text exchange that I had with Akon, if you guys are new here, my best friend died in a motorcycle accident in 2013. That was my first tattoo. I always go to the wrong arm because I'm mirrored here, but that's his initials with family is thicker than blood, a play off of blood is thicker than water. He was more of my family than anyone else ever was. That was my brother. Why did I bring that up? What did you say?
And I know you're the bravest man. You vows, and they wrote their own vows.
Oh, yeah. The last text exchange that I had with him, because we didn't text a lot. I don't like being on the phone, but he and I would always be on the phone. So the last text exchanges we had, I was at a family friend's wedding, and the best man was doing the best man speech. I pulled out my phone, and I mean, it's kind of gay, but fuck you. I don't give a shit. I was like, bro, I can't fucking wait to hear what you are going to say at my wedding and what I'm going to say at your wedding. That didn't happen.
And she was like, you're the strongest man I know. You're the bravest man. You make me feel so safe. And I was weeping because I thought, like, we did it. Like, we did it. This is what we wanted to do. We wanted to create a man like that. And we did. We created one that a brilliant woman, she's a lawyer too, like goes, yep, that's my guy. That's the one I want. And what an incredible thing. Now, if you want that, you've got to have that terrifying moment. You've got to have all those and all the other terrifying moments that I'm sure are soon to come, or will come down the road. So yeah, I think love is the greatest thing in the world, but I think it is an absolutely insane, terrifying thing.
Yeah, it's the best. I was going to ask, as someone who's watched thousands and thousands of people, not only watched, but participated in the process of them getting divorced and often acrimonious circumstances, how did you feel watching your son get married?
I think the same way anybody else does. I'm cheering for them. I felt choked up by it.
He gets fucking hairballs because between my hair and his hair, he's not supposed to shed, but he does, and he just like licks the floor and has hairballs sometimes. Can you see what's going on over there? Yeah. So for now, we're gonna pretend that's not happening, but I don't want that to soak into the carpet, which it definitely will. Or I don't want him to eat it, which he will definitely do as well. So I am going to dip out a little bit early. Not even really. We just hit the 3-hour mark. But I want to give a big shout out to all of the disciples. If you are a member, oh my goodness, you help keep this standing. Thank you so very, very much. And of course, a big shout out to all of the donations. My goodness. We didn't hit the goal, so no extra special treat and no push-ups for me. Yes! I had to do somebody, I had the regular stream goal of 75 for $2 is one push-up. And then someone was like, all right, I'll pay you what did I say? I'll give you $50 to do 75 right now. Challenge accepted. And I did it. Let's go. That was in the beginning-ish of the roll up and chill stream. If you want to see, it was rough. It was rough. But guys, thank you so very much. Let me just see what else we got here. Yeah, right. So this was just saying this was the thought, and yeah, I get you. Don't do crack. I probably would have done crack if I wasn't a downer guy, but I remember smoking so much crack and I couldn't even talk. Good times, right? Good times. All right, guys, I am gonna go take care of my baby. I don't have a human one, but I got this, and he's not feeling so. Oh, look at those eyes. Oh, he thinks he's in trouble. You're not in trouble, Baba. You're not in trouble. It's okay. I love you. Why don't you just lay down? No? Okay. He does that in the car too. He gets sick in the car, but he's like, no, I want to stand and look at everything. All right, bro. Soil the Soul. Always a pleasure to see you. Soil the Soul is an OG. And OG, thank you so very, very much for stopping by. And of course, a big thank you to everyone. As I always say, I know that you could be doing anything else in the world, and yet here you are hanging out with me and the little puppy. So that really, really, really does mean the world to me. Again, a big shout out to the people who are opening their wallets. But even if you're not, even if you're just hanging out, I understand that there's a million other things that you can do. So choosing us really does matter. If you are new here, please do hit that subscribe. I am live every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern, and sometimes whenever I feel like it. I was live for like 5 hours last night. And then I did another stream because I was on somebody else's mail. Subscribe. It's worth it. And you know that YouTube sucks with those notifications, so you may as well ring the bell so you never miss an Indian Jesus live party ever. Again, big shout out again to our sponsor, Soil to Soul. Thank you so very, very much. Once again, this is the Overlord Morty, and I have been your host, Lutch, aka the Indian Jesus, here to resurrect the second coming of Common Sense. Until next time, guys, we are out of here. Peace.